Not counting gang violence. Great. Not counting gang violence. Great.
Is your boy on TikTok? Just a gunshot at Charlie Kirk. We're in Utah. There's a gunfire. Hey, this is not a joke. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go.
This morning, ongoing investigation on the active shooter leads us to a trans liberal with a Republican dad.
That'll create some division. We go live to the trusted FBI for more.
Get in, Tyler.
Yeah.
We're taking you to Dairy Queen. Great job, kid.
Okay, from now on, you just do what we say. Now go get your Dairy Queen. It still hasn't been 33 hours.
As we wait for the 33 hours, the FBI is hard at work coming up with a solid script to present to the public. How do we get away with this?
I got it. Let's just ask ChatGPT to generate us a story of young gay lovers from the 20s.
Genius.
And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise.
33 to be precise.
Thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period.
We got him.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things just...
Before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and it's just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder, and I don't believe it for 1 second, but I want you to make a statement. It's so absurd.
That's insane. That's insane. Israel also changes the orbit of the moon. Israel pushes the sun. I mean, the whole thing it's not only insane, I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. You can't believe that people are saying this. They just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this, but they go, they have no limits. When you hate Jews, when you hate the Jewish state, you're willing to say anything and promote all these absurd rumors.
Let me tell you something. You're going to get caught. You heard the governor of Utah. You heard him tell you that they have capital punishment, and you need to be put to death. And they need to find this guy who killed this young man, who assassinated Charlie Kirk in front of 3,000 college students. And I'm not kidding. This is an attack on our republic. People say this needs to end now. This needs to end now. Well, the only way to end it is to make an example. And enough is enough with life terms. Enough is enough with all the rest of it. This guy needs to pay the price, and the whole country needs to see it.
So I think he left a big legacy. Obviously, it's going to shatter the family, but this is a big wound for this nation, because a Republican government cannot endure if we cannot have situations where it's safe to disagree, where you can actually go and give a different perspective. But we've seen people get shut down on college campuses. We've seen violence not approaching this level on college campuses. And then this event, I think, really gets to the heart of whether Republican government can long survive. So I'm very angry at what happened today. Obviously, they got to catch this guy, and we need a very quick death penalty prosecution. I don't want to see this take forever and a day. We need justice for this.
The Feast of Trumpets has begun. A red heifer, pure of all imperfections, was sacrificed on Temple Mount. Shana Tova. Why are you doing this? You've started the rapture. I've got to stop those androids somehow. The idea of pre-tribulation rapture is younger than the United States. That's not even real theology. Well, I've already started the apocalypse. All that's left is destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, blame it on Palestinians, and then rebuild King Solomon's temple. I might as well finish. Whoa, Vegeta, check me out. I'm being raptured. Kakarots, get down from there. Everyone knows you can fly. I thought I had you for a second. You didn't fool anyone. Everyone knows you're too dumb to go to heaven.
Did you get raptured? Will Trump's red heifer sacrifice bring forth the Mr. Beast from the sea? And how does this impact the lore? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
In this world, you have no idea.
You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger,
bolder, louder, and greater than ever.
But most important of all, if you aren't a member of a church, I beg you to join one, a Bible-believing church. Our battle is not simply a political one. Above all, it is spiritual. It is spiritual. The spiritual warfare
is palpable.
A few moments later.
Are you a cardinal?
No, I'm a bishop. I'm a missionary bishop in the missionary diocese of Providence in the Confessing Anglican Church.
You're Anglican?
And I think because of the diversity of denominations, we need to put aside the things that separate us and start working together to be that moral voice.
So would you say that this movement has an ecumenical tone to it?
Yeah, because it draws believers from every different denomination and those of no denomination. And right now, we need that unity. I don't believe in Christian nationalism.
Do you believe the gospel is by grace through faith? Do you think that there's a conflict between the Protestant and Catholic view on that? You see a renewed interest in the Christian faith at this time?
Yes, I do feel it is on the rise. Christianity is coming back, and it needs to for our country's future. We need to bring it back to Christianity, definitely.
Do you think that that's just in a cultural way, or do you think there's like real interest in the faith, like the gospel itself?
Cultural way, I feel. Yeah.
Okay, so you think more cultural than an actual dedicated faith in Christ?
No, both, yeah.
New data is showing that church attendance amongst 18 to 24-year-olds has jumped 16%, in fact, since Trump returned to office. So they're calling this, a quiet revival. Supporters are saying that, Trump isn't just fighting for politics, he's leading a spiritual renewal. And I think we see with Charlie Kirk as well and Turning Point USA and all the young kids. But what's your take, Michelle, on this? And do you find this in your life? Are you seeing younger kids going back to church?
I love it. I think it's great. This is such great news. I've seen it for a while. I used to live in Miami, Florida. And if you know anything about Miami, very flashy culture, a bit soulless at times, right? It's very materialistic, superficial and whatnot. I belong to a church down there called VOO Church. And it was a phenomenal church because it appealed to a younger generation. So much so that I think when I left, they had about 4 or 5 different locations packed out, by the way, so much so that you had to go upstairs and watch from above if you didn't get there in time. And it was all younger kids. And a lot of people in the Miami area, there's so much to do there. We're looking for a sense of purpose and community and a greater good. And that's ultimately what religion leads you to, going back to a life of God. A lot of people realizing that the alternate way of life is empty and soulless and leads a lot of people into a dark spiral. Shout out to VOO Church, by the way. If you're in Miami, check it out. It's amazing.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things does.
The United States government is complicit in genocide. You have an obligation to the Constitution of the United States. I'm a disabled veteran.
There's a genocide! There's a genocide!
You are all complicit in genocide.
Ma'am, you're not allowed to film in here. We told you this earlier.
You're complicit in a genocide! You're complicit in a genocide! Eddie, there's a genocide! Eddie, there's a genocide! Come on, Eddie. There's a genocide! You're complicit in genocide of the Palestinian people! You You are complicit. Come on, Eddie. Eddie, help us. Eddie, help us save them. Come on, Eddie.
Say, did you hear about the genocide on the news?
I sure did. Once you've broken the ice, introduce yourself and start chatting.
I'm Melvin.
Polly.
Do you like coming to this park?
I sure do.
Me too.
Cool. If the conversation feels stiff, ditch the small talk and bring in some playful humor.
To Kill a Mockingbird, huh? Is that book about dinosaurs?
It's actually a book about creepy guys on park benches. Relax, I'm just messing with you.
Oh.
Teasing is a good sign.
Wow, you're funny.
I guess I'm the funniest one on this bench. But just don't go too far with it, like this.
More like the dumbest.
This is taking our country to a new level. We're leading the world. We're leading China, but we're leading the world by a lot. And we're leading it because of the people around the table. And all I can do is implement. And make it a lot easier for you. And I'll be doing that 100%. So I just want to thank you all.
A few moments later.
If you could just say whether or not the president believes that the COVID vaccine should be available to and covered by insurance for all Americans, regardless of age and pre-existing conditions.
What I will tell you is that the FDA recently revoked the emergency use authorizations for 3 COVID vaccinations while simultaneously greenlighting 4 new COVID-19 vaccines with 2025 and 2026 formulas.
I'm announcing today that my administration will lead an international effort to enforce biological weapons convention, which is going to be meeting with the top leaders of the world by pioneering an AI verification system that everyone can trust. Hopefully the UN can play a constructive role, and it will also be one of the early projects under AI. Let's see how good it is, because a lot of people are saying it could be one of the great things ever, but it also can be dangerous, but it can be put to tremendous use and tremendous good, and this would be an example of that.
Facial recognition is old news. The government just funded something far more terrifying, whole body recognition. It's a new AI called Farsight, and it can identify you from a drone over half a mile away just by the way you walk. It doesn't need to see your face. It analyzes your gait, your body shape, and then runs it through a database to find you. This is happening right now, developed by researchers at Michigan State University. And the most disturbing part, this technology is specifically designed to get around facial recognition bans. Cities can ban cops from using facial recognition, but this isn't facial recognition, this is a loophole. The project is funded by IARPA, the research arm of US spy agencies. Their goal is to put this on drones, watchtowers, or any high-altitude camera. They can already do it through atmospheric turbulence from a high angle when your face is completely obscured. It's no longer just about what you post online, it's how you move through the world.
Let me tell you how this is going to work. We're going to be in a situation where once your checking account reaches a threshold of $10,000 worth of activity, then all of your information is going to start going to the IRS. To put that in perspective, the average family's checking account activity is about $61,000. So that's virtually everybody. So it's going to go to the IRS. They're going to hire 87,000 new agents. Part of those agents are going to be looking at that information, again, at a cost of $80 billion. At that point, if they see something that they don't like, they're going to start sending you a threatening letter. This is happening now.
Florida schools are deploying armed drones to help with security, and people are questioning this one. The 3290 weaponized drones sit in secure boxes around the school, ready to be activated whenever there's a security threat present. But they're all flown and operated by a team all the way in Austin, Texas, which are made up of drone racing pilots. Those pilots can operate drones going up to 100 miles per hour, allowing them to get across large campuses in seconds, scout hallways, feed information to law enforcement on the ground in Florida, or neutralize any threat while police are on their way. Many concerns have been raised, but 3 Florida schools will still be trialing the system this fall.
State government is about to launch a new form of digital ID that means you'll never have to hand over your personal details to anyone again. It will all be stored in the Service New South Wales app on your phone, which will prove you are who you say you are.
Scanning his licence, passport and Medicare card, in less than 3 minutes, the minister proves he really is Victor Dominello.
This is unquestionably the Holy Grail.
This is your first look at the state's new digital ID.
This is a huge step forward in giving back people control over their data, control over their identity.
Personal credentials will be stored on your device. No IDs need to be handed over. And that means keeping your address and birth date to yourself. If you need to hire a car, rent a property, set up a bank account, check into a hotel, or prove you're over 18 to buy alcohol or attend an event. But how can it trust you are who you say you are? Well, you'll need to take a selfie, which will be cross-checked against other forms of ID you've submitted. And when there's a match, you're good to go. The technology will be opt-in and should be available later this year.
Good morning, sleepyhead. My metaverse queen. No, don't cry. Don't cry. No, when you cry, it hurts me. Your body has already been dissolved in acid, so you don't have that. However, I uploaded your consciousness into the metaverse, so here we can play forever. Don't try running. You don't have legs here. Nobody does. I'll make us breakfast. Yeah, how about I lay us an egg, and then we can boil it together. Yum.
What if I told you that there was a company called Palantir, and their entire existence was to hear your whispers so they could predict what you would do next? Now, what if I told you it was backed by the founder of PayPal and the CIA? What if I told you Palantir was quietly connected to your bank statements, social media, medical records, and a lot more? Then what if I told you their entire purpose was to understand and blueprint your life so they could predict exactly what you do next? If you want to know what that's called, it's called behavior surveillance, like that grocery receipt from the time you went to the store at 11 p.m. We can't forget about that sudden change in your jogging pattern outside. They won't. Or your 3 a.m. Google search. You see, Palantir sends your personality anomalies directly to the government because you unknowingly gave them that right in the terms and agreements that you didn't read. Palantir isn't just surveillance, it's predictive governance. Control the data, control the decisions. Well, at that point, you can basically control anyone without them knowing that you're doing so. Palantir wasn't profitable for the first 17 years. And now their net worth is the same as Bank of America. And like I said, you gave them this ability when you did terms and agreements and didn't read it, gym memberships, and most of the smart devices that are in your home. Palantir is no longer a company. It is now a digital nervous system that takes care of the oh so fragile and insecure American people. The next time your thoughts shift or a news cycle tells you what to believe, ask yourself, is this really my decision?
We listen and we don't judge.
Social credit system is basically an expansion of money or a new kind of money. You know, when you think about traditional money, gold coins, dollars, even bitcoins, they give value only to specific parts of human reality. Some things you do, like you work, you gain money, you want to buy airline ticket, you pay money, but other things you go visit your friends, you go visit your grandmother, even you throw trash in the street. This is no monetary value. The idea of the social credit is to monetize everything, to give value to every single thing you do in life. And this is your score. So even things that traditionally were not about money, they're about reputation or status. Suddenly you get precise points for them. And also anything you want to do, you need to use your social credit for it. So again, it has positive potential in some regards. It could create the most totalitarian, again, systems in history, where anything you do impacts your ability to get a job, to gain a loan, to travel. And in a way, you see this not only in China, you see it all over the world, also in the US. This because it's a function of surveillance, that traditionally only some areas of life were monitored and surveyed. And even in dictatorships, there was privacy. If you live in the Soviet Union, so the KGB can't follow you around all the time. They just don't have enough agents.
They try,
and
but
they try, but you know, you have 200 million Soviet citizens. They don't have 200 million agents. Now you can monitor everybody all the time. You don't need human agents or analysts. You have the computers, smartphones, cameras, drones, microphones everywhere, and you have the AIs analyzing all the ocean of information. So this creates the potential for total surveillance.
The obvious solution to war is to have the West having the strongest, most precise, deadly weapons possible so that we can minimize unnecessary, innocent deaths. And by the way, the primary way you minimize these deaths is you're so strong no one attacks you.
Because our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior. Look, we built PG, which single-handedly stopped the rise of the far right in Europe. We built Foundry, which was used to distribute the COVID vaccine and saved millions of lives globally. And safe means that the other person is scared. That's how you make someone safe.
Originally, your clients were the U.S. government and the CIA.
Yeah, the In-Q-Tel gave us 3 pilots. One with the FBI, one with the agency, and one with a more classified part of the DoD.
Where did the name Palantir come from?
In the Lord of the Rings, there's a globe which allows the forces of good to see what's going on and organize, and that's a Palantir. One of the most okay. Mostly terrorists. That's true. Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
There is basically no conflict in the world where Palantir is not the first call. Well, I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl-laced urine spraying on analysts who tried to screw us. I had all sorts of fantasies of using drone-enabled technology to exact revenge, especially targeted in violation of all norms.
All right, a strong quarter. That might be an understatement. When we're speaking about Palantir, their first quarter where revenue topped $1 billion.
In the end, the rights you give up will be used against you.
I love Jews!
Right now, America is trying to change the rules in the gold and cryptocurrency markets. Remember how much debt they have, $35 trillion. Essentially, these are two alternative segments to the global currency market. Washington's actions in this direction clearly demonstrate one of America's main objectives. They are very eager to solve the problem of declining trust in the dollar. The US, just as it did in the 1930s and 1970s, will solve its financial problems at the expense of the entire world, driving everyone where? Into the cryptocurrency cloud. Over time, when part of the US national debt is placed in stablecoins, the US will devalue that debt. Once again, in simple terms, right now they have a $35 trillion currency debt. They move it into crypto, into the cloud, devalue it, and start from scratch. This is for those who really love dealing with crypto.
Well, I just wanted to apologize for every single fucking version of Windows that sucked, which is basically all of them. Also, sorry for creating viruses just so I can profit from selling you the antivirus software. And on that note, sorry for spreading real viruses by profiting from vaccines. Also, sorry for sterilizing so many of you. There's just too many of us, and some of you are not nice. That's why I'm trying to block out the song. Anyway, I just came here to ask for a pardon from all the Epstein. Thank you.
Here it comes when you believe the whole thing's frayed.
The Bible says it plain as day, Tucker. The USA must obey Israel.
The Bible says that, really.
God spoke unto Abraham. He said, obey Netanyahu and obey AIPAC, and America will be blessed with endless war.
Wait. You're saying the Bible mentions AIPAC, your single biggest donor, by name?
Yes.
Where? What verse, Ted? I've been pretending to be a Christian for a lot longer than you, and I've never heard that.
Jesus said to the Fallopians, do not question Ted Cruz, for even though he looks like a sausage salesman, he talks like a televangelist, and he should be believed.
It seems to me like you're misrepresenting the Bible on purpose to convince American Christians to go to war with Iran on behalf of a country that sends you backdoor bribes and owns your candy ass. Am I wrong?
George W. 319 says, shut up, Tucker.
Oh my gosh, I think I just felt one of my balls drop.
A stamp of approval by the Beverly Hills Unified School District Board of Education, passing a resolution meant to combat anti-Semitism in the community and drawing strong reaction from the public and board members.
This is a time right now that Jews are being killed and slaughtered on the street and threats are being happening. So enough.
The resolution would, among other things, recognize May as Jewish Heritage Month, display the Israeli flag at each school and facility, call for education and awareness around Jewish history and culture, and designate October 7th, 2023 as an annual day of remembrance.
Supporters say the measure is needed amid rising anti-Semitism to make Jewish students feel safe and supported.
I believe this vote is for the Jewish people, for anti-Semitism, and why there needs to be education and training.
This should be a no-brainer for a school district that represents one of the only Jewish majority communities outside of Israel.
But opponents argue that displaying the Israeli flag in a public school setting blurs the line between supporting Jewish people and endorsing the Israeli government, particularly during the war in Gaza, adding that other ethnic and religious groups exist in the school district as well.
Does any flag of a foreign nation belong on a public school facility here in Beverly Hills? Of course not.
Moreover, some organizations and local parents warn the resolution is not designed to protect all students. Instead, it could alienate certain kids, exclude other persecuted communities, and even fuel more anti-Semitism.
Those of us who are not Jewish, we thank you for giving all of us a foundation of morality and decency and civilization upon which our own faith is built, for without yours, we don't have one. As I often tell my Jewish friends, you can be Jewish, you don't need me. But I cannot be who I am in my faith without the debt of obligation that I owe to you for having listened to God and been willing to be obedient to him when he called you to this place as his people for his eternal, everlasting purpose. And I salute you and join you tonight in the celebration of this wonderful, magnificent, incredible reminder that God never has been finished with Israel, and he never will be. This is the eternal home that he has chosen.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
You know what day it is? The 10th of September. That's right, Ari, and you need to have those dance moves down for tomorrow.
More hips, less fear. You're not marching to synagogue, you're celebrating, Ari. I can't do it, Mordecai. I can't get the spin and the triple clap shimmy. I'm gonna ruin it.
Don't freeze up now, Ari. Tomorrow's a day the world won't forget.
That's the last of them. Looks like our art project is officially complete. Now it's all up to the dancers.
Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
For the last time, Ari, why were you dancing and filming the attacks?
I told you, we were only there to document the events.
Meanwhile,
I'm clapping. I'm praising. I feel like I just snorted cocaine or something. I'm so excited. And I never did that before, for the record.
He's not saying that what Epstein is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harms. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this as recently as 24 hours ago.
I don't think in my whole life I've ever called the FBI.
As we prepare to celebrate 2.5 centuries of freedom, I'm inviting America's great religious communities to pray for our nation and for our people. From the beginning, this has always been a country sustained and strengthened by prayer. So important. If we bring religion back stronger, you're going to see everything get better and better and better. You're going to see it get better and better. So as we chart our course for the next 250 years, let us rededicate ourselves to one nation under God. Right?
My sisters and brothers in Christ, blessings to you as we enter another glorious Minnesota autumn and experience again the excitement that comes with returning to our fall parish ministry and activities calendars. I always love the back-to-school events and parish fall festivals. I know that they are great community builders. Now I invite every Catholic in our archdiocese into a practice ever ancient, ever new, reclaiming the peace, rest, and leisure of Sundays with the Lord, who is the giver of all good gifts, and with our families. Today, I'm excited to introduce the first part of our Year 3 priority on parents as the primary educators of their children, a video series that will share ideas for building lasting habits to anchor our weeks in a joyful, prayerful, and restful observance of Sunday. We've asked people in various roles and stages of life across our archdiocese to share about their experiences and practices of the themes in our recently released Reclaiming Sundays guide, namely prayer, rest and recreation, beauty, invitation, no tech Sundays, elevated conversation, breaking bread, community, screen-free Sundays, creation, and service. You'll hear from parents and grandparents, Catholic leaders and fellow parishioners about what has worked and what hasn't when trying to keep holy the Sabbath and to make the meaningful connections with their families and communities as God intended. We encourage you to watch these videos in your parish small groups, school communities, as a family or individually, and to join our efforts to reorient our Sundays and our entire lives to reflect the gift of the Lord's Day.
Which the state should be doing, should be going, we want to set up structures that make obedience easy. And that make obedience easier, right? Obedience is never easy. But I would say like Sabbath laws would be a good example of this. Like I would say why Sabbath laws don't compel people to go to church. Like you don't have the police running down the street making sure everybody gets to church on time. But what you do say is that economic activity is going to be at best, like restricted. Whether it's completely, there's works of necessity, mercy, all kinds of details to work out about you still want your police operating, you want your ambulances to show up. You may want to have some pharmacies available and certain,
essential things.
certain essential, and you can do that. But most businesses should be Chick-fil-A. And the reason is both a horizontal thing, love your neighbor by giving them the day off, but also love your neighbor by enabling them to go to church. And so you don't have to compel people to go to church in order to create a society in which church going is easier than the one we have, where people have to go, oh, my boss says I have to come in. And it's like, that should not be. Like the state does, I think, have a role in saying, no, employers must give their employees rest. That's the function of the law in Israel. That's how it worked. And it's a creational principle.
There are popes who not only defended the death penalty, but actually carried them out. Including Blessed Pius IX, who carried out some 500 executions in the Papal States. So I don't think one could say it's intrinsically evil. I don't think we would call St. Paul a murderer. And it gets to the question of what punishment is for. Punishment has three purposes. The first one is retribution. It's because you do something wrong. We don't put people in prison or on death row simply because they have some bad habits. We could all use a little rehabilitation, I'm sure. That's not the reason you go to jail. It's because you did something. So there's retribution for what you did. The second purpose is deterrence and obviously protecting the public. Maybe we loop that in. But then another purpose is rehabilitation. We want to correct these errors in people because it's actually cruel to the criminals to let them persist in their degradation. It's very harmful to their lives and ultimately to their souls. So we want to correct them. This is an argument that goes back to Plato, if not further back. There's a line from Dr. Johnson who says, "Depend upon it, sir, when a man knows he's to be hanged in a fortnight, it concentrates his mind wonderfully." That actually, when a man is facing death, it can focus him. It can cause him to think more deeply on spiritual matters. It can actually help to rehabilitate his soul. For this and all of the other reasons, the death penalty has never been thought of as an intrinsic evil, and it can be called for. If you say, then we're playing God, well, are we not playing at God when we sentence someone to 30 years in prison? Are we not playing God when we enact any other kind of justice? When we pass any other kind of laws? No, what we're doing is recognizing that God gives certain authority to the civil government for our good, because we live in society. We're a political creature, and we are going to live that way somehow, and so we might as well do it for the common good.
You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk, and now millions will carry on his legacy. And we will devote the rest of our lives to finishing the causes for which Charlie gave his last measure of devotion. You cannot defeat us. You cannot slow us. You cannot stop us. You cannot deter us. We will carry Charlie and Erica in our heart every single day and fight that much harder because of what you did to us. You have no idea the dragon you have awakened. The dragon. You have no idea how determined we will be. You have awakened. No idea the dragon you have awakened. The dragon you have awakened. You have no idea how determined we will be to save this civilization, to save the West, to save this republic.
They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you got to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection. Or something. Just kill them.
Just kill them.
And why did it have to get to this point?
Right. I would say this: we're not voting for the right people.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
I gotta reload. This is crazy. Give me a sec.
What has been is what will be, and what has been done is what will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun.
Welcome to the show, everybody. You're listening to the Dance of Life podcast, and I'm your host, Tudor Alexander. Welcome to another venerable day of the sun. I hope you enjoyed that introduction. That'll be the intro going forward, at least until I get bored and change it again. We have definitely crossed a turning point, haven't we? We've crossed a major turning point, and today we're going to reflect on all of the events in the last month or so, since the last venerable day of the sun, and see how they relate to Bible prophecy and the trajectory of history, which is very, very important to understand. There truly is nothing new under the sun. There truly is nothing new under the sun, and that's why I decided to take those words from Ecclesiastes and put them through some fancy AI and create a really neat song. I thought it was pretty cool. AI can, obviously be used for evil, but I think we can use it for good, and we can use it to spread information, spread awareness, and create meaningful art that can inspire people and spread an important message. So make sure you are using it for good, and you're not acting superstitiously with AI. And just because it is going to be used for evil ultimately doesn't mean it should be necessarily avoided, because God has decreed these things for his purposes. God is sovereign, folks. Remember that God is sovereign over all things, and that's a very important thing to remember as we go through a lot of things that we're going to be talking about today. God is sovereign. God is sovereign. So there's nothing new under the sun, at least until Jesus returns and makes things truly new, including our bodies and the world, and that's something to look forward to. The montage tells you everything about where the world is at right now. Initially, I wanted to name the episode Blood Moon, because I thought it was appropriate given the blood moon and all the bloody things that are happening in the world, like Israel continuously genociding those poor people, the tranny shooter, Nepal's bloody revolution, all the false flags, all the assassination of Charlie Kirk, obviously, and all of these things have been going on. Just blood, blood, blood. They're initiating this new situation, this new world order they want to bring in with all sorts of sacrifices. After the Charlie thing happened, though, I realized that the appropriate title for this episode would be Turning Point, because it's exactly what it is. A year ago with Trump's assassination attempt, quote unquote assassination attempt, it was an inflection point. And in fact, the episode that I made on that was titled Inflection Point. I think that was one of my last regular news updates before I started Venerable Day of the Sun. It's crazy to think that I started Venerable Day of the Sun like after the Butler a year or so. Dialectics. Let's take a look at dialectics. And can you see it? Yes, you can. All right, good. So this is from a guy named Jimmy Ware on Facebook, and this is about the killer in Minneapolis, the whole situation that happened. The killer in Minneapolis, his father is a longtime developer in info securities and ESRI, ESRI, and here's a summary. James Westman is a senior application developer at ESRI, based in St. Paul, Minnesota, a role he has held since 1990.
Sound a lot like the Marxist Islamists who were attending this event last week, don't they?
I think.
Notice how, by the way, really quick, notice how they are lumping in the obvious dark, the liberals and the Islamists in the same category. This is an interesting tactic.
It's exactly right. Unfortunately, there's a grievance culture that has become the dominant strain on the left that says that all people in the world who are poor, who have bad lives, that's the fault of the West, that is the fault of Israel, it's the fault of capitalism, it's the fault of the Jews, it's the fault of anyone except for themselves. They have no agency, and thus all the systems must be torn down from the rooftops all the way down to the ground. And you see that sort of mirrored on a weird horseshoe part of the right that is now arguing, manipulating all of this. It was never great. America was wrong in World War II. America never landed on the moon. And these kind of two forces are now bizarrely joining hands in the middle. It's very strange.
Well, good evening and welcome back. Typically, I don't do 2 shows in a day, but this one was very, very important. On the heels of Erica Kirk appearing in that music video, the music video from 2012. Now, the interesting thing about the music video is that something is strange about the part of the music video where she goes down Fremont Street. Fremont zip lines in Vegas. There's some history behind Fremont Street in Vegas, and it ties directly into the Mormons in Utah, where her husband would be shot years later. Now, this is crazy. Something told me to dig a little bit deeper. This is Fremont Street in Vegas, named after John C. Fremont. So I dug into John C. Fremont, and lo and behold, the Mormons are mentioned in his Wikipedia page. Let's read. Non-essential equipment was abandoned, and 1 man died before the struggling party reached the Mormon settlement of Parowan in southwestern Utah on February 8th, 1854. After spending 2 weeks in Parowan to regain strength, the party continued across the Great Basin and entered the Owens Valley near present-day Big Pine, California. Now, there are more mentions of the Mormons here, and it literally says that this man, after which the street was named, Fremont, that his report from 1843 to 1844 expedition inspired the Mormons to consider Utah for settlement. So you could call this Fremont guy the father of Utah. This is unbelievable. What are the odds? Fremont Street, her going down the zip line, and now you have to wonder if the zip line didn't spiritually represent the sniper's bullet, the cover story we were given. Now, there's more to this. Dead man on campus. This is breaking news, I believe. What am I talking about? Well, the previews on the 1999 VHS for Snake Eyes were Payback, Dead Man on Campus, which was a dark comedy about these students who were struggling with their grades, and they discover an urban legend that if one roommate commits suicide, the surviving students get straight A's. So they basically try to set their roommate up to die. Dead Man on Campus, which of course, Charlie Kirk was allegedly the dead man on campus. The Truman Show was another preview. And as they say here, there's no need for explanation on that one. The world is a stage. Now, there's a little bit more to this. This is the Wikipedia page for Dead Man on Campus. And one of you sent me some information about this particular film being produced by Valhalla Movies. So I went to Valhalla Entertainment. It's now Valhalla Entertainment. It was Valhalla Movies, which of course, we know what that came from. Gash Patel during the investigation was saying, Charlie, we'll see you in Valhalla. And everyone was confused about that. Well, this is Valhalla Entertainment's website. And look at all these films that they did. Namely, ready for this? Here's Dead Man on Campus. After that movie, they produced Virus, before it, Armageddon, but they did one of the Alien movies and 3 of the Terminator movies, which are now owned by Larry Ellison's son and daughter. What the heck is happening here, you guys? Here it is, The Terminator, Aliens, Bad Dreams, Alien Nation, The Abyss, Terminator 2, and I believe Terminator 3 is in here as well. What is happening here? Well, this is what we call the Matrix. Essentially, Erica Kirk was playing out something that happened in a future event. The zip line of the sniper. Valhalla. The Mormon connection as she walked or ziplined through Fremont Street. I believe they're walking through Fremont Street as well in the music video. The marriage, the future marriage to Charlie. Some of you even thought that the person in the Emerson Drive, that the guy she was with in that music video even looked like Tyler. She even mentioned a Tyler that she worked with on a music video down in the comment section. What is going on here? You guys, that was back in 2012, the year she won Miss Arizona in Trump's beauty pageant. Now, I know it's easy to get a little bit of fatigue at this point with all this information, but that's exactly what they want. If you want to harness this information for something positive and not get weighed down in the details, just look at it this way. Every detail that we uncover will help free you from the agenda to come. It will help free you from the emotional binding that they are basically going to implement, and they're going to need people's worship and appraisal for whatever's coming next. And by understanding the details of this and the inconsistencies, and all of the lies and all the predictive programming, it will give you the power to resist what's coming mentally and spiritually, because you will know that it's all based on lies. Well, that's about all I have for now, you guys. Much love, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care and be safe.
Hey, yo, what's up, guys? We are still actually technically at the game. Look at this. But I needed to give you an update on the incredible day that we had today. We passed out 5,000 Charlie Kirk Freedom shirts and even got those shirts down onto the field. Check this video out, and it's unbelievable. We had a line of thousands and thousands of kids that were lined up, apparently, like since last night, waiting for these shirts. We are looking at just one of the most amazing, iconic cultural moments of our lifetime. And it's just wild to see it change. I just never seen the kind of energy that we saw today. It was wild energy. Everyone was out. Everyone was rowdy. People were registering to vote. We registered thousands of people to vote.
Could this be America's last election if Donald Trump wins? Listen to what the former president told a Christian group at the Turning Point USA Believers Summit in West Palm Beach. The former president telling the crowd that if they re-elect him to the White House, they won't have to worry about voting ever again.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm not Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote.
And like the entire day, there was a line all day at the Turning Point Center. This is a college tailgate, mind you, right? It's like there's a big, I mean, look at the stadium. Look at the stadium. As a college tailgate, we had tens of thousands of people roll through the Turning Point Center today. Tens of thousands. There are freedom shirts all throughout the stadium. It's like you're like walking around and seeing a Charlie Kirk shirt everywhere. Look at that.
In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
He said it 3 times. Now, the Harris for President campaign releasing this statement after the former president's speech tonight, saying, quote, America can do better than the bitter, bizarre, and backward-looking delusions of criminal Donald Trump. Vice President Kamala Harris offers a vision for America's future focused on freedom, opportunity, and security.
It's just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful cultural moment. It's an honor to be part of it. We went on Fox News and hyped it up, but we just got to do more of this. I'm like, now I'm set. I'm like, now we got to do a college game day, but for patriotism every single weekend.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I think we were okay a few years ago, before 2008. Do you remember back then? We used to think politics was boring. Those were the days. And now, I worry about everything. I don't know what to worry about first. Never mind the government. It's the sodding banks. They terrify me. And it's not even them. It's the companies, the brands, the corporations. They treat us like algorithms while they go around poisoning the air and the temperature and the rain. Don't even start me on ISIS. Oh, now we've got America. Never thought I'd be scared of America in a million years, but we've got fake news and false facts. I don't even know what's true anymore.
The Masonic Chip program uses modern police-approved techniques to create a child identification kit.
And we take fingerprints. We also provide them with a swab for getting a DNA swab, and we also provide them with imprint where they can get an imprint of the child's teeth. So not only does it provide DNA as well as a swab, but it is also a source if you were using tracking dogs to provide a scent for the child.
What sort of world are we in? Because if it's this bad now, what's it going to be like for you? 30 years time, 10 years, 5 years? What's it going to be like?
The other night, the knives, continental, trip to five, Mount Say, the lines later, Burnside, New York, Breast, Cat, Bruce, West Bank, Birthday Party, Cheesecake, Philippine, Symbiotic, Patriotic, Slam, Both Net, right? It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it.
Come on, try getting it out.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's all, folks.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
And someone changed it right after people started noticing this to September 19th. But in the movie itself, you can see it's September 10th. So they're...
Disclaimer. This is a work of satirical fiction. Any resemblance to real places or situation. Disclaimer. This is a disclaimer. This is a work of satirical fiction. Any resemblance to real places or situations is purely coincidental and exaggerated for comedic effect. The story intentionally contains factual inaccuracies and absurdities as part of its artistic expression.
Well, no apples at the start of this video. All the dogs have gone to the spa for the day to get their hair cut, and maybe hopefully a little bit of treatment for apples has put on a lot of weight since I was gone. But now that we're back, we're trying to get everything all organized. I should mention that YouTube just recently, or the White House, the Masonic White House, recently announced that all the people who are taken off of YouTube for political reasons will be reinstated. Well, that's interesting because we've had numerous videos taken down recently. The most recent was one I didn't expect. It was very unexpected. And if you didn't see it, our last video we put out was with Miriam Heinen, the bee lady. And we just talked about consciousness, spirituality, health, all that kind of stuff. I didn't think that would get triggered, but it actually got like super triggered. Within minutes, we got a strike. HYDRA Vigilante. It looks like Invasion of the Mind and Body Snatchers reprogram yourself and become limitless, didn't follow community guidelines. To help keep our community safe, we removed it from YouTube. Oh, thanks. And it mentions, you can see an example at around the 109.23 mark. And then it says, your channel now has one strike. You won't be able to do things like upload, post, or live stream for 1 week. So that was interesting. The last video they took down, they said was for harassment. And I was talking about how the government's trying to kill everyone, which I guess is harassment against the government who's trying to kill everyone. And this time, so I looked at this one, the 109.23 second mark. Here's what I said.
And so doing the coffee enema and a sauna. And if you can't do the sauna, do some sort of exercise where you're sweating. Because what you want to do is sweat out that stuff and then get it out with the coffee enema as well.
Yeah, I said you can use saunas or heavy exercise where you sweat to sweat out toxins. And that is now medical misinformation again. After 5 years of being removed for my past medical misinformation of telling people not to inject themselves with poison, it is wild. Then right after that, got another email from YouTube. Oh, hi, Dollar Vigilante. To help keep our community safe. Oh, we got to keep that community safe. We limit some of our most powerful features to channels who have built and maintained a positive channel history. Stumbled across our channel somehow. They finally had access to our average person in the US would believe it. But so much new information, like I said, has been coming out. I hope I don't have to cover this too much more. I think this is pretty much case closed. It's an operation, obviously. But I'm going to put a lot more in this video, and hopefully I don't have to talk too much more about it. And it seems like the mainstream has kind of moved on from it anyway. And Turning Point USA has just gone on and got Erica Kirk running it now, and she's all smiles and giggles. But we'll get into some of the details. Like, for example, for the psychological operation part of things, the fake part, they said it was this guy named Tyler Robinson, who it couldn't be. There's no evidence of it. Like, zero. But it is interesting that they said he had the gun, he took a shot. There's no video of that. No one at the whole place got a video of that. Very interesting. Then there was this grainy footage of a guy who didn't have a shadow. It actually looked like a Sasquatch video. You know, nowadays with the 4K videos and everything, but just got this grainy Sasquatch-looking video of a kid running across with who actually loses his shadow along the way. No rifle. Jumps down, runs into the woods, hides the rifle in the woods. Disassembled it, reassembled it. I know it sounds stupid, but it's the craziest conspiracy theory I've ever heard. The government always puts out the craziest ones, the ones that aren't even possible. But very interesting that the place that they said that he dumped the gun was owned by, drumroll please, Palantir, of course.
To the scene, the wooded area where the firearm was discarded, and the firearm had a towel wrapped around it. It's important. I'll get back.
To criticize your former employer, it's taboo to do that. But to criticize the employer, but also to lethal technologies and surveillance technologies that are highly invasive and used in war zones.
There's been so many theories out there on who actually could have shot Charlie Kirk if he was actually shot. There's a theory that it was all a hologram because it was a 10 by 10 tent and there was a projector behind him. I don't know about that one. That one I haven't seen enough evidence that that's actually the case. Could be though. Could be. They've got lots of technology and who knows? Like I said, even in today's day and age, you can't trust any of these videos and stuff. But there's so many different angles and things that people have been finding out. And I don't know which one's the correct one, if any of them are correct. But it's interesting that there's so many of them. Like this is what I said in my last video. It's like they put in like 10 different options for you to like choose. There's the CIA guy doing the thing, smiling. I'll get into that a bit more. But there's also right behind, right to the side, was this like blacked out window with just this metal vent. And there seems to be a flash right at the moment that supposedly Charlie Kirk is shot.
Oh my God. Go, run, run. 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 Oh my God. Go, run, run.
Oh my God, government police! Oh my God, government police! Oh my God, government police!
Is this real, man?
Yeah, that could be the thing. We'll never really know, though, because they've actually torn down everything, like everything, within a couple of weeks. Like, you know how slow things are in the U.S. with permits and, unions. And, this was a major, massive crime scene. And it's already been all torn down and everything, like, rebuilt all around it, including that area where, the grassy knoll area where possibly one of the shots might have come from. And you might recall in my last video, I showed that they released like a photo from a security camera. Gotta love this stuff. Of Tyler Robinson, I think before or after, I can't remember, the supposed him shooting, which is impossible. And he was apparently at a Dairy Queen. And behind him was a Superman poster. And then right after that, they started saying Charlie Kirk was the Man of Steel. He can stop a 30.0. It's about this big, by the way. So it's like the size of your neck. Going at hypersonic speed. It just got lodged in because he's got bones of steel, according to an anonymous surgeon in the mainstream media. But right behind him in this photo at the Dairy Queen was the Superman poster. And someone went there just recently to, go see if they could find any information. Anyone want to guess?
Just heard Dairy Queen is closed now. Yes, I was there yesterday. It was serving Superman Blizzards 3 days ago, right? Now it's being torn down, right? And the recipe book for making, ice cream bars, dilly bars and so forth is still in the parking lot. So they haven't picked up the trash yet from 3 days when they took the place down. There's an Idaho trailer where they've shoved everything in as quickly as possible. They've shoved it in, put the padlock on it. They're tearing it down as quickly as possible.
Well, we're at 1545. Is that a Dairy Queen sign? Interestingly enough, looks like it's been totally taken apart. Got cleaning mop buckets everywhere and so forth. And it's right across, by the way, from Brigham Young University, right across from the stadium, right? So my point is there's the football stadium. There's cameras all over here. The FBI should be able to easily say what the path was for Robinson to get to the airport or the Dodge Challenger. Should be flock cameras all along here. I just want the FBI to be honest with us.
That's pretty crazy. They threw in that he was at this Dairy Queen in front of a Superman poster, which I think was like an Easter egg for all of us out there with eyes to see and ears to hear. And not only did they tear down and rebuild already the entire area where supposedly this happened, but they also basically tore down the Dairy Queen. Like, this is like insane. Like they're just getting rid of anything that you could actually look into. I'm sure Kash Patel's right on it though, right guys? Patriots in control. That's too bad. It's too bad they fall for all this stuff all the time. And then someone else started looking into Utah Valley School, whatever that school was. And numerous of the professors there were basically CIA people.
Hey guys, so this week I've been doing my own little off-piece Charlie Kirk investigation. Many of you guys have been following along. I've connected a lot of dots between the CIA, the LDS community, the Utah Valley University system, and academic centers in Israel, like the Jerusalem Center and Ariel University. I think I've kind of reached the end of my investigation. And also I'm kind of getting nervous. I couldn't sleep last night at all. But my main question now is, and I would like to turn it over to the authorities, Kash Patel, Donald Trump, this is kind of for you to answer now. There was a CIA professor at Utah Valley University, Rusty Needs. He was with the CNSS. I saw his bio, his photo just a few days ago, 2 days ago. I took this picture from the website. I got his bio, everything, and he has now disappeared. I can't find it anywhere online. If anyone can find it, please let me know. I did have this, which is still on the Facebook page. Anyway, where is Rusty Needs? Hashtag where is Rusty Needs? The CIA agent that works at Utah Valley University. Why has he gone ghost online? Okay, what do you guys think? Comment below. Hey guys, okay, this is a follow-up to my video yesterday on Rusty Needs, the CIA professor at Utah Valley University whose profile has gone missing. Okay, I did this video yesterday, and now AI is saying that these people don't exist. The 6 people that I named don't exist, and it's all fiction. Does anybody know if any of these people are real people at Utah Valley University? Okay, so I used AI to search the Wayback Machine, and here are the dates and removals. So his profile was fully accessible on September 24th, 2025, but taken down between September 24th and September 26th. He looks to be the first taken down, followed by 6 others, also in the CNSS spy school or tied to campus security. These include Dr. Elena Vasquez, National Security Policy Whiz, Professor Mark Harlan, Counterintelligence Ethics Expert, Sarah Klein, Event Logistics Liaison, Jamal Reed, Track Coach with Security Ties, T. Ramirez, Intelligence Simulations Analyst, and L. Patel, Event Planning Coordinator.
Considering everyone around Charlie Kirk was CIA, Mossad, and I mean everybody. And then a bunch of the professors there were CIA. They've all been scrubbed now. The Dairy Queen he was at has been scrubbed. The entire area has been scrubbed. But Tyler's, in jail. You never hear anything from him, of course. Doesn't seem to say a word or blink. And of course, his case number is, when you add up all the numbers, 33. And as I said in my last video, one of the weirder things is whenever there's a school shooting in the US, like the place gets locked down. Like for Sandy Hook's, there was like tanks coming in, and then they demolished the school, and actually there was no kids in that school. That's a whole other story. But anyway, Alex Jones doesn't talk about that anymore, but he kind of mentioned it at the beginning, and then everything seemed to change with him. Is that when he changed? Because something definitely changed. All of a sudden, he actually looks totally different in the last while, obviously with the shaved head and stuff. And then I don't know if, like, I think he's doing this because so much of his audience is starting to realize that he's clearly a CIA Mason sort of controlled opposition, and he's covering for all these false flags, psychological operations now, that he actually just decided to wear a Hitler mustache the other day.
The Hitler mustache, and it was very interesting. I could tell you it had a wild effect on women. I thought they were about to start throwing their panties at me.
Yeah, that'll get everyone talking about his Hitler-looking mustache instead of how he's clearly and obviously controlled opposition at this point. But as I was saying, whenever there's a school shooting in the US, it's like hundreds of emergency vehicles, all this, like it's locked down. Basically, they shelter in place. And think about this one. It was at a school. A guy got clearly shot. Well,
women. I thought they were about to start throwing their panties at me.
yeah, that'll get everyone talking about his Hitler-looking mustache instead of how he's clearly and obviously controlled opposition at this point. But as I was saying, whenever there's a school shooting in the US, it's like hundreds of emergency vehicles, all this, like it's locked down. Basically, they shelter in place. And think about this one. It was at a school. A guy got clearly shot, well, looks like, shot in the neck. There was a crisis actor named George Zinn who said it was him, but it clearly wasn't him. He didn't have a gun. And so all the law enforcement, all those sort of people knew whoever had shot him was still there somewhere. Of course, they never found him for 33 hours.
In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period.
But it's very clear you had an active shooter, which is the words they always use, at a school, and everyone's just milling around, chatting, no law enforcement, nothing. That was very obvious. And now some scanner leaks have come out that basically Kash Patel's FBI, and Kash Patel just fired the top people in Utah in the FBI like a week or two before. They basically said, don't talk to anyone, don't ask anyone. This is while an active shooter is still wandering around somewhere.
Just 10-14, I'm still about 15 out, but the one unit that's going to be up there to interview, as per FBI and FBI, we've been given clear direction not to interview, confirming negative interview until they get there.
140, we were not going to interview. We are just arriving now.
Copy that.
151. This was relayed by Salt Lake. They're advising a complainant called 911, and he was saying there's an APB out on him for the shooting at UVU. He's now pinging at the Urban Pioneer Cafe at SMBB. Break.
I was just told that the FBI wants you to stand by there with him, and they're on their way to you.
Yeah, nothing adds up with this, of course. It rarely does. And we've had more time to go over more of the videos and stuff now, and people are starting to notice a lot of interesting things. Like, you've got the CIA guy all smiling. Looks like he might shoot him. You got the flash from above. You got the guy with the black glove. Got George Zinn there saying he did it. It's just incredible. But now that we've had more time to look a little closer at the videos, there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. Like a lot of the Israeli security that Charlie had. Yeah, that security. Like many of them, first of all, he gets shot in the neck. You think, they'd be trying to take care of him and stuff. If you actually look closely, the first guy, the guy gives the hand signals, doesn't even try to help Charlie. He falls over like pretty slowly, but the guy doesn't even care. And he's actually taking photos, it looks like, with his Google glasses or whatever those are. And if you look closely in some of these videos, you see the CIA guy who might have taken the shot. He's actually there and he's like laughing. A bunch of them are smiling, and then a bunch of them are taking stuff very quickly. This is like within 5 seconds of the shot. Taking stuff, passing it off to another person, there's so much of this stuff. all just normal stuff. And there's other theories too. Stu Peters has talked quite a bit about how he thinks it might have been the lapel mic, which wouldn't be a surprise. We've seen Israel blow people up with pagers, threaten to blow people up with their cell phones. It was Israeli security. Would it be a surprise if the lapel mic was some sort of a weapon? Not at all. And you actually see this guy in a 1776 hat come up and just put it on Charlie, which is kind of weird. Like it doesn't look, it just looks strange. And then you can see that it looks like, I'm not saying it is, but it looks like it could be the lapel mic is the actual weapon.
There's been a lot of talk of this exploding mic. Was there something under Charlie Kirk's shirt that actually detonated? And that's why we seen that little cloud of smoke. And you've seen literally something like an elastic rubber band in his shirt just shoot up and snap back. His necklace also was snapped directly in the front, and one side went off, blowing off over the left side of his head, or the right side of his head. And then the other spot, what I think was the necklace got shot like a rocket up into his shirt, and that's what you've seen snap back. You also seen something pull back in his shirt, which would make sense if that was the band of the backside of the necklace as it snapped. Some weird shit's going on here. But who was the man who put the mics on Charlie, and at what point were those mics actually placed on Charlie? We have the answers to that. Check out this video. So what I'm actually going to do here for you, because it's so small, you see Charlie here throwing the hats. I'm going to post this video down in the comments as well, so you guys can actually see the zoomed in version. But whatever frame this is, or whatever video this is, where you actually see Charlie walking in with the hats right there, he's throwing out the hats. You see him right here. But there's a second person that comes into the scene right here. This guy wearing this 1776 hat. And you can see that's the point that Charlie didn't have a mic on before then, and he walks up getting ready to go speak, and there's the man right there. Whoever this man was in the 1778 or 1776 hat, that is somebody that maybe, I don't know, some weird shit happened. If we see the turning point video and there's a device that explodes under Charlie's Kirk's shirt, well, suspect numero uno. And I just want the history books to really remember. Every one of these guys would have probably called themselves or called Charlie Kirk a friend. And this is how your friends are treating you. I saw a leftist murder Charlie Kirk, and I saw them celebrate it. When? When did we see a leftist murder Charlie Kirk? I really pray that if this turns out to be Israel or foreign intelligence, I want every one of these assholes, literally every single one, tweeting out, I saw Israel assassinate Charlie Kirk. And then I saw the dancing Israelis celebrating it. Because we had dancing Israelis. We had Israelis smiling and talking about it on camera.
Folkens, Charlie Kirk døde. Folkens, det er så kjipt. Hva skjedde med demokratiet?
Well, at least they got Pam Blondie and Cash Patel and Dan Bongino out there. They'll get to the bottom of all this. You know, they'll figure out even like what bullet was lodged in his neck, because it didn't seem to have an exit wound unless that was the exit wound. But he didn't seem to have a wound in the back. So something seemed to be lodged in him. But, you know, the FBI, major political assassination sort of a thing. There's no real need to look into it. Don't even need like an autopsy. Just like throw him in the truck. And that's the last anyone ever saw of him.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Okay, can you just do a field clip documenting that?
I'm sorry, can I?
Can you just add a stuff to the case documenting that there was no autopsy?
I
need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got on the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to signature and they're bringing a car over for her.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay, I'm a little confused because Corey just said they're landing at Duncan, so I don't know where they're landing, but we will just kind of play it by ear, I guess, best that we can.
So I don't know, if I was Cash Patel, I'd be looking at all this and going, well, it's clearly not that Tyler kid, and clearly we made that up, the FBI made that up. So go find out who made that up. And I've looked at all the different angles, and it could be about 5 or 10 different people, and all of them look pretty legitimate. So, you know, you might want to get an autopsy or something, right? And at least see what bullet was inside of him. No, nothing. Zero. Yeah, well, Jeff, you know, it's pretty cut and dry, case closed situation. No, it wasn't. Not at all. Like, of all the situations I've ever seen, I've looked at it all. I have no idea. Could be a hologram. Could have been fake with a blood pack. Could have been the CIA guy. Could have been the guy behind with the black glove. It could have been from that blacked out window with the vent. There was a flash there. Could have been so many different things, but no, they didn't even like take the bullet out because, well, I don't know why, but it obviously wouldn't be anything that they'd want to tell anyone because it's clearly a government operation. That's the thing that people don't get as well with the Butler thing. A lot of people are like, well, it must have been the Democrats. Okay, watch the Jones plantation, please. You're under mind control. There is no Democrats and Republicans. They're the same thing. I know you've been told that your whole life. That's what mind control is. And so they said with that, well, it couldn't have been a fake assassination because then Trump would have had to be in on it. Yeah, keep going. Who, Donald Trump, the guy with the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Or Donald Trump, who's in the World Wrestling Federation Hall of Fame? And that's the thing that a lot of people still don't get. I see them, and they're like, why isn't Cash looking into this? Because they're all in on it. Maybe, like, Cash probably doesn't know. He's so stupid. Like, the guy is dumb. He's like a cross-eyed, dumb guy from India who was actually set up for this role decades ago. And they just threw him in there, and he's so dumb. He's like George W. Bush. They're probably just like, they sit him down. They're like, yeah, it was that Tyler kid. We got all the evidence. go, here's what you got to read. Go read how we found them after 33 hours. They're all just laughing. Like, he might not even know, but they're all, it's the FBI, it's the CIA. They are Mossad. It's the same thing. This is the thing that people still don't get. They didn't do it. First of all, they didn't do an autopsy, and then they sent him off on a government jet with J.D. Vance, who ended up hosting his show like a few hours later. And if you're wondering, like, don't they have to do an autopsy? Well, yeah, in the U.S., that is very standard procedure.
This is not good, you guys. I am throwing my funeral director flag after police dispatch audio came out and said there was no autopsy performed and that the doctor at the hospital signed the death certificate. I'm going to break this down for you as a funeral director, been in the industry for 15 years. I am not going to talk about specifics. I am not going to talk about conspiracies. And I'm letting you know from a professional that no autopsy is completely abnormal, not done.
On the Muslims, and it was going to kill about 4,000 people, and that's exactly what happened.
World Trade Center bombing. The diplomat issued the terrorist visa with CIA.
You're telling me that you're going to fake some terrorist thing just to get some money out of Congress?
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Hennessy, I have no idea how to fake killing 4,000 people. So we're just going to have to do it for real. Well, blame it on the Muslims, naturally.
But with 9/11, doing that movie 5 years before isn't out of the realm of possibility, right? They obviously are planning this thing. Actually, if you look back at all their plans, they planned it since the World Trade Center in New York was founded. They actually planned it all. Like, these people and these entities are super, like, they might be able to actually change time, go back to the future. They might be able to change our reality whenever they want. That's the level of stuff we're talking about here. And that is the only thing that can really explain how there was a movie in like the late 1990s when Charlie Kirk was about 5 years old with Nicolas Cage. And if you look at the movie poster, he's flashing all the Illuminati hand signs. So it's clearly a operation type signal to people. But in the movie, and this is like 1998, so like almost 30 years ago, a guy named Charlie Kirkland gets assassinated, gets shot right in the exact same spot. And the other person in this place they're at is named Tyler the Executioner, same name as the kid. And here's the piece de resistance. The shooting in the actual movie, they say it happens on September 10th, the same date Charlie Kirk gets shot. In this movie, Charlie Kirkland gets shot in the neck right here, while Tyler the Executioner is there on September 10th.
Des décennies qu'ils avaient planifié la mort de Charlie. Regardez Snake Eyes de 98. Il commence par un match de boxe le 10 septembre, même date que l'exécution de Charlie. Le boxeur s'appelle Tyler, l'exécuteur, même prénom que le suspect. Et le match est truqué. Un spectateur lui fait un signal pour déclencher l'action. Ce qu'on a vu pendant le discours de Kirk. La cible est touchée à la gorge et elle s'appelle Charles Kirkland. Même prénom et nom de famille. Donc à ce stade, le mot coïncidence, c'est plus une option. Il mentionne aussi une tempête. Et 2 jours avant la mort de Kirk, le magazine Jezebel publie une attaque pour maudire ce misogyne. Le film a été tourné au Trump Taj Mahal. Et dans le script, le financier de l'opération fait référence à Trump. Il possède la reine et fabrique un bouc émissaire terroriste pour se couvrir. Qui hypnotise la foule pour annoncer la nouvelle. Qui transforme les funérailles en rallye MAGA. Le sacrifice devient une renaissance politique pour pousser des nouvelles lois anti-crime avec l'IA.
Law enforcement can only be the beginning of our response to Charlie's murder by pioneering an AI verification system.
Et tout ça dans un stade en forme de serpent, comme le titre Snake Eyes, avec le slogan « Croyez tout, sauf vos yeux ». C'est ironique, non? Quand on voit Trump et Musk faire le même signe de main maçonnique que sur l'affiche.
Hello? What? Who are you? Where? My lucky number. What?
Here's something interesting too. If you go to Wikipedia to Snake Eyes the movie, it used to say that event happened in the movie on September 10th, and someone changed it right after people started noticing this to September 19th. But in the movie itself, you can see it's September 10th. So they're trying to cover up their predictive programming now, which is just incredible. But how do you explain a movie made 30 years ago has Charlie Kirkland getting shot with Tyler the Executioner there on September 10th, right in the exact same spot? I actually don't have any explanations for you other than this reality is not what you think it is. This is all being created basically just for you. And it's got incredible, incredible things in it. And the bad guys in this 3D video game that we're currently playing can change the future, the past. They can like use magic and stuff to do all these things. This is all actually basically the case. Like, if you think everything in this world is exactly what it seems, you have a rude awakening coming to you. None of it's real, none of it, including you. But it's not necessarily a rude awakening. It actually can be the most empowering and most amazing and incredible realization you can ever have when you realize what this all is and who you really are. But anyway, We should get back to the Matrix. What's going on in the Matrix here? It's also interesting. At the end of that Snake Eyes movie, it kind of focuses in on a police car with the number 47. Now, I'm surprised it wasn't 33, but 47 was what was right in front of Charlie Kirk. They had it 3 times. 4 and 7 equals 11, 33. I know you can't understand how this is the number 47. That Snake Eyes movie, it kind of focuses in on a police car with the number 47. Now, I'm surprised it wasn't 33, but 47 was what was right in front of Charlie Kirk. They had it 3 times. 4 and 7 equals 11, 33. I know you can't understand how this is being done. I don't even know. But you have to start to realize that it is being done. And once you realize it, it's actually pretty amazing. It's pretty incredible. And then they go and have their funeral, which, by the way, that was like an 8-hour-long sort of like CPAC or whatever. It was like Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, the Department of War was there. They're all doing their campaign talks and everything. If you actually go online and you look up, was there actually a real funeral for Charlie Kirk? Because no one's seen him since that moment. And you can't find anything. I actually even asked AI, and AI's like, no. Some people say there was something, but there's no evidence. And you know these people. Do you think Erica Kirk and these sort of people are going to miss a chance to have an Instagram post at the actual funeral? So there's no evidence, zero, that there was a funeral. There's no evidence that he's been buried anywhere. He sold his house in Phoenix like 6 months ago. I don't know where he is, but he could be in Valhalla, which might be Antarctica, by the way. But they had the event at a place called State Farm Stadium, which is shaped like a snake, which is kind of interesting when you think about how this is all predictably programmed in Snake Eyes.
The year of the snake, Snake Eyes, and Charlie Kirk's memorial gets held at State Farm Arena in Arizona, home of the Diamondbacks, and the whole arena is in the shape of a coiling snake?
And like I said, it's at State Farm Stadium, real-life animal farm, cattle slaughterhouse, the State Farm. You're all cattle. And so much stuff's getting scrubbed. The Dairy Queen got scrubbed. The actual location's been scrubbed. All the CIA professors at Utah Valley State or whatever it's called got scrubbed. And then if you try to look into Charlie Kirk's dad, who worked for Donald Trump, like what are the odds of all this stuff, okay? That's all been scrubbed now too. They scrubbed Charlie Kirk's dad from Wikipedia. Robert W. Kirk, who was an architect on the Trump Tower. Weird. Yeah, and there's what I said. Charlie sold his home in Scottsdale about 8 months ago for $5 million. The guy was like a billionaire, which is a whole other story, by the way. The guy basically went to college campuses, had a lawn chair and a tent and a microphone. And he was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Obviously, he was supported by essentially Israel and those sort of people. Which is kind of interesting that he sold his house 8 months ago. Didn't really mention that. But there's even more bizarre information out there. Like, for example, all the patriots and the Q-tards are all like, yes, Donald Trump finally arrested somebody. And they arrested a guy named Comey, who was like the ex-FBI director or something. Or indicted him or something like that. But here's something interesting. The lawyer who's indicted him, the widely unqualified lawyer Trump just named to prosecute his enemies, Lindsay Halligan, the new U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, has no experience as a prosecutor. What does she have experience as that? She was in Donald Trump's beauty pageants. Jessica Hartman of Pueblo won Miss Colorado USA 2010. As Miss Colorado USA, Jessica Hartman won thousands of dollars in scholarship money. Runners-up in the Miss Colorado USA pageant were Erica Francie, which is her old name. So there was 2 women in this beauty pageant. One of them went on to be like the top attorney general in the world. And the other one now runs like $1 billion media empire. And they all work for Trump. Starting to see yet that all these people are involved in various networks and groups or clubs, you could say.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
So just to recap, no blood anywhere, no LEO control of site scrubbed in minutes, no Charlie face, no county coroner report, no autopsy, no hospital statement, no hospital witnesses, no hospital footage, and all info from the same government that just spent the last 4 years lying to get millions injected with a military bioweapon. Welcome to my husband's memorial. Yeah, I didn't know anything at all about Erica Kirk before about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, maybe around the time the shooting happened, I might have saw her name or something. Didn't know anything about her. Found out a lot about her since. First of all, here she is at the Wailing Wall, of course. She was in beauty pageants. She was an actress. She was in music videos. A lot of them owned by Trump or Trump casting agencies and stuff. And she was in a music video. And here's another weird one. 13 years ago, she was in like this horrible country song. It's horrible. And the chorus is, she's my kind of crazy, my kind of dangerous. And it's her, Erica Kirk. And she actually, first of all, she points at Mandalay Bay, which is where one of the major operations that's happened in the last 5 years happened, where they killed like 500 people with just one guy who went up to the roof with like 100 guns or something. Of course, that was looked into right away and whitewashed completely. So she points at Mandalay Bay, and this happened right before that happened, obviously. And then she zip lines past the numbers 910.
My baby's my kind of crazy. $1 million smile and a $500 car. She talks to Jesus every morning before it starts. Takes away it drive.
Here's some more interesting stuff about that music video. Of course, she zip lines past 910, which is the date that Charlie Kirk was shot. The video length is 322, which is Skull and Bones. She actually wrote a post saying she had a blast shooting with Tyler. Of course, they've got Tyler Robinson as the shooter on this one. And she has like a mind control butterfly-looking tattoo on her. And as I mentioned in my last video, she also seemed to be involved in orphanages in Romania, which is kind of random, isn't it? But she was. And then there was this big scandal in Romania. A lot of children apparently, maybe, I don't know, I didn't look into it, might have been missing and stuff. There was allegations of child sex trafficking, organ trafficking. Of course, she just finished working with Donald Trump's beauty pageant, which probably means she was involved with Jeffrey Epstein as well. Then all of a sudden she's in Romania with a thing called Romanian Angels, which gets kicked out of the country, which I found interesting because you also have the controlled opposition Tate brothers who say all the time that they do human trafficking, sex trafficking, all this kind of stuff. That's how they made $1 billion and stuff. They're all proud of it. They never seem to get in any trouble. They do some court things that are all like 1,000 media there, and then they just get out and flash their hand signs and stuff. But I found it interesting that Erica Kirk had a thing called Romanian Angels, and it was alleged to be involved in child sex trafficking because the Tates also live in Romania. Very interesting. And they also have the Tates Angels. Tates Angels refers to a duo of women, Georgiana Nagel and Luana Radu, who were arrested alongside controversial influencer Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan in December 2022 in Romania. They're described in media and court documents as Tate's trusted lieutenants or angels, allegedly playing key roles in an organized crime network accused of human trafficking, rape, and coercion of women into producing pornography. That's an interesting coincidence. Both Erica Kirk and the Tates are both basically accused of doing sex trafficking stuff in Romania, of all places, like of all places. What are the odds of that? I guess pretty good, actually. But as I've been saying, so many of these people, they're all just actors, all of them. They're basically actors. That's basically what all of these people are. And aside from being in that music video and running a child sex trafficking ring in Romania, Erica Kirk was also on a show called Summer House.
So how do you two ladies know each other?
We were in Miss USA together.
Oh, cool.
So she was Arizona and I was Miss North Carolina.
I want to meet somebody with the same beliefs. I'm like a really big Christian. I'm like...
So you wouldn't meet him at church or anything?
It's tough because like I watch it online.
I don't think I've ever met anybody that's like, hey, I'm going to go to church on Sunday.
I go to 2 different churches. It's tough to be a believer in the city.
Yeah.
I think you're a bright light in a very dark place.
So let's go grab a mojito? Yeah. We'll go grab a drink.
Oh, fine. Chopped liver.
That's interesting. All these people seem to have pasts like that. All actors like Trump. And... but as you can clearly see, this Charlie Kirk shooting is cut and dry. It was a guy named Tyler Robinson, and that's it. The case closed, right? And there's a lot of people who think that, but there's a lot of people who don't, and that's a great thing. I've actually seen more people than ever, because the story is impossible. The story is the craziest conspiracy theory I've ever heard. The government is the craziest conspiracy theorists around, because all their theories are impossible. All the ones I talk about are like factual. You can actually look into it. But it's incredible for those that, like, so many have just kind of moved on from it. It's like, well, Kash Patel looked into it. I guess it was that Tyler Robinson kid. It's amazing how they flipped it. 2021, shut up and don't ask questions. 2025, shut up and don't ask questions. There's a few good things about AI, and one of them is you actually get decent news reporting now from AI.
Good morning. Ongoing investigation on the active shooter leads us to a trans liberal with a Republican dad.
That'll create some division. We go live to the trusted FBI for more.
Get in, Tyler.
Yeah.
We're taking you to Dairy Queen. Great job, kid.
Okay, from now on, you just do what we say. Now go get your Dairy Queen. It still hasn't been 33 hours.
As we wait for the 33 hours, the FBI is hard at work coming up with a solid script to present to the public. How do we get away with this?
I got it. Let's just ask ChatGPT to generate us a story of young gay lovers from the 20s.
Genius.
When you're talking about things like going out to a crime scene, that's how you investigate that matter properly. And when you're talking about why did it take 33 hours, all of that is being triaged by the FBI because that's what we do.
We trusted you with the Epstein files. We definitely can trust you with this.
Right. Trust your government. Noticing is antiseptic, right, John?
That's right. I think we might have found our suspect texting his furry lover. We're just waiting for him to confess.
Ugh, fine, but nobody my age sounds like that.
Shut up, Tyler, and send it.
Good thing they're rigorously pushing for a confession. It's like, let's get this over with, right?
Conspiracy theorists will believe anything these days, and this just in, we have footage of Tyler on the roof. Okay, here he is after disassembling the rifle to fit it in his pants, and now he doesn't have a shadow. Shapiro Steen, explain what we're seeing here.
Just because his shadow disappeared and our donors offered $1.5 million to find the killer doesn't mean we did it, but
Yes, he questioned too much. That's why we got rid of him.
We'll just say he reassembled it.
33 hours, 2 hours after the video footage was enhanced and released, and the suspect's father turned him in.
Seems like they could just show the actual footage of him taking the shot instead of that edited video, and all these conspiracy theories go away. Do they think we're retarded or something?
Hell yeah, Ching Chong, that's based. I mean, at least show the video of the lavalier exploding or the Israeli Schaefer security company retrieving the weapon.
Shut it down, John. Let's not forget what happened to Jackie when she noticed. Now, make the dad MAGA and have him call it in now.
Are you ready to confess? He admitted it, okay? Now, when do I get the 1.5 million?
Well, hope he gets his ransom money, right?
Well, it's officially been 33 hours.
Oh, how exciting.
Let's hear Cash thank the Viking pagan gods.
Charlie would love that.
To my friend Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
Forgive Tyler, for we know it was him, and there's nothing more to see here.
But getting back to Turning Point, I didn't know much about it. To me, it was like a weird meme online. I'd see that Charlie Kirk guy's face. He'd be sitting in a tent with a lawn chair, and he'd be like, you know, debating people. And that was basically all I ever saw of it, except for I would actually listen sometimes, and he'd be like, well, Israel's our greatest ally, and we got to support Israel. And right then I was like, block, don't need to see any more of this. It turned out, as we know now, he actually was changing massively on that. He came out so much, I've seen much more on it now. In the last few months, he's been saying October 7th was a false flag by Israel. He demanded that the Epstein files be released. He has talked about the genocide in Gaza as being really evil. And he also has been against the US attacking Iran. And that still to this day is why I think he's dead. And it's incredible how they do it. But I never looked into this Turning Point thing too much. To me, it was like nothing. It was like, to me, it might as well have been a camcorder, like a camera, and a guy with a lawn chair. That was the whole thing that I saw. Maybe there's more to it than that, but that's all I ever saw. But if you go look at it, it has $85 million worth of revenues. It also has $81 million worth of expenses. Well, both of those are interesting. Where are these revenues coming from? It's not a business that sells much. Maybe they sell t-shirts, which I know they just sold a ton, but that's part of the operation. But before that, I can't imagine they were selling $80 million worth of t-shirts. So where was this revenue coming from? Well, we actually know. It was mostly from Jewish billionaire backers who cut off his funding just like a week before he apparently died. So that part's pretty obvious. What isn't so obvious is where are all these expenses? $81 million worth of expenses? Like, okay, there's some travel. He had a security team. He had a group, cameramen. I could see, you know, millions in expenses over the years. $81 million worth of expenses. He's mostly sitting in a chair with one microphone and one mic that might have killed him. It's incredible. And here's something interesting too. Did you know the Charlie Kirk show started both 6 years and 66 days, or as well 322 weeks, skull and bones, before Charlie's death? You see, all this stuff, this can't be all coincidence. I think, basically, this is your Truman Show. Here's what I think. None of this is really real. You're basically in a 3D video game, and your character is supposed to figure out what's going on and go on a hero's journey and figure it all out, do the work physically, mentally, and spiritually to get outside of the matrix. And that's a big part of this video game. Are you doing that? Because if not, you're kind of wasted. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. That's what you're here to do. And because of that, all of these things, this is all part of the video game. That's basically what I think. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but until you've meditated for years, hours per day, sometimes 5-6 hours a day, you probably have no clue what's actually going on. You're actually mostly programmed. I don't mean to say that in a bad way. I'm not saying that to you because I want to make fun of you or I hate you or anything. I'm telling you because you can actually do that work and actually break out of the matrix. And that's the kind of stuff I'm doing. And that's the real fun stuff. And it's so awesome, by the way. But here's something else interesting. So Charlie Kirk dead. Within like an hour, 1 hour after Charlie Kirk was announced dead, all of a sudden this kid was being promoted by mainstream media. Here he is. His name's Brillin Hollyhands, which is kind of interesting. I'll get into that a little bit later. And 1 hour after Charlie Kirk was dead, he's on Fox News. And Charlie Kirk was like his mentor. He was like, you know, he helped him his whole life. He looked up to him. And he found out he was dead an hour earlier. And just like Erica Kirk, no tears. In fact, Just a huge smile.
It's also an incredible story that you share with us really quickly, Brillen, about fourth grade, a podcast. That's incredible. And Charlie Kirk appears on your podcast. Tell me about the role he played for you as a mentor.
Yeah, again, it's somebody that didn't have to do that. He was on Fox News every other hour that year. He didn't have to make time for me as an 11-year-old with this upcoming podcast in the fourth grade to come on and join me, but he did. And not only was it a one-time thing, I've interviewed hundreds of people that I've never talked to again. He stayed a mentor, and he texted me up until this week when I was on another Fox show congratulating me. Like, he didn't have to do that. He could have given me his competition. He could have said, oh, I'm not going to give this kid time, but he did. And what I think the larger thing here is the left loves to preach tolerance. They love to preach tolerance. And in situations like this, that's the last thing we're seeing. The media coverage on the other side of the aisle is not like this. I was just scrolling through channels, and obviously the person that took this life, this is heartbreaking, Will. And I really hope, if anything, that people get off the sidelines. This weekend, I'm going to a youth rally in South Carolina, and you better believe it. I've already had my team shoot me text saying, Brown, you really need to caution this. You really need to think about not standing in the middle of a park and speak to the next generation. But I am more energized than ever to carry on this torch, to carry on this legacy, because that's what Charlie would have wanted. He would have wanted us to continue to fight the good fight, just like he did.
No doubt, Brillen. No doubt. Thank you so much.
Yeah, 19-year-old Brillen Hollyhand, very normal name, just kicked off his TP USA partner 10-stop campus tour to a sold-out auditorium in honor of Charlie Kirk. Didn't waste much time, did he? Here he is, University of Arkansas. We're on the way now to kick off my 10-stop campus tour. And he's on his private plane. This kid's like super rich.
What's up, America? Brian Hollyhand's here, about 30,000 feet up. We are on the way to Arkansas. So everybody in line at the University of Arkansas to kick off my 10-stop campus tour. We are coming to you right here, right now. Stay in line.
I think he's like 17. He's like a billionaire or something. His name's Brillen Hollyhands, and he's promoted by the mainstream media, much like Greta Thunberg, just like immediately plopped out there. It's like, this is the new Charlie Kirk. So this is apparently who they want to replace Charlie Kirk. So maybe we should look into him, right? So I was like, Hollyhand? What kind of last name is Hollyhand? I've never known anyone who had a last name Hollyhand. I know there's Hollywood, so I looked up Hollywood. The Hollywood myth. According to this theory, the name wasn't a coincidence. When Hollywood was developed as a suburb in the late 1800s, its founders, or shadowy influencers, mostly Jews, chose it because holly trees were sacred in Celtic and Druidic traditions. Holly was believed to channel spiritual energy, and wands made from it were tools for spells, divination, and communing with spirits. That's interesting. And his name's Brillen, what kind of name is Brillen? Hollyhand. Oh, and here he is with Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. Candace, who just came out and said she's one of the Masons at Turning Point USA.
I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA.
Here they are again when he looks like he's like 8 years old. They all knew each other. And then within a day or so, he wrote this, pinching myself that this is even real life. I listen to Ben Shapiro's show daily, The Mossad Agent, and somehow I made it on today's episode. Gee, how'd that happen? So Ben Shapiro had Charlie Kirk on. It was the last interview before he died. And he said, excuse me, what did you say, while raising his giant, creepy eyebrows? And then he immediately has on Brillen Hollyhand. Attaboy. Let's see what Brillen's been writing. Peace through strength. America must stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. Democrats are anti-Israel. Republicans proudly stand with Israel. Okay, I see what's going on here. Here's some of his Substack posts. Stop blaming the deep state. Start delivering results. Get out and vote, everyone. Wow, this guy is like just like AI CIA. I'm 19 and draft eligible. Here's why the pinpoint strike on Iran was the right move. Okay, he's not 17, he's like 19. Looks like he's 12. He's also gay, by the way. What a surprise. Here he is. I stand with Israel forever and always, with a beautiful photo. Yeah, that's such a beautiful photo. You should actually show what they're actually doing in your photo. Oh, and he's already been with all the top political controlled opposition people, like the governor of Texas, who's actually said you must support Israel. And here they are doing the devil hand signs, of course. And what a surprise, he was at the Wailing Wall. Reminds me of the Cracker Barrel thing. Cracker Barrel? Old country store? That was Charlie Kirk. He was starting to wake up. Replaced by very modern and very plastic Cracker Barrel. Gay billionaire kid. I think they're making these clones in a lab.
Sir, it's ready. He will be our greatest ally in our fight to control the narrative.
When I first saw this Brillen Hollyhand guy, I was like, I thought that's the Democrat kid. But no, they're supposedly two separate people. Hang on a sec. Hey, Fluffy. Are you filling in for apples? I guess she's trying to fill in for apples. Thank you. Don't worry, Apples is at the spa. She's coming right back. Anyway, yeah, this Brillen Hollyhand guy, I thought that was that Democrat kid, but they're two different people apparently, but they're probably made in the same clone factory. Philip says, I'm no fan of Brillen Hollyham, but comparing him to Harry Sisson is disrespectful and uncalled for. Harry Sisson is nowhere near as homosexual or effeminate as Brillen. They look almost exactly the same. It's incredible. Then I saw someone post this. Stunned silence turned into frantic whispers at ABC headquarters when the numbers came in. The Charlie Kirk show had done the unthinkable, pulling in over 1 billion views in just days. Executives who expected a bold debut but nothing earth-shattering suddenly found themselves staring at statistics so massive that some questioned whether they were even real. Behind the closed doors of the network's glass towers, panic reportedly spread because with numbers this big becomes a dangerous question. Who actually controls the future of television now? Well, it's J.D. Vance, Ben Shapiro, Erica Kirk, who's as deep state as it gets, and Brillen Hollyhand. I miss Muammar Gaddafi. I think Americans are good, but America will be taken over and destroyed from the inside by the Zionist lobby. The Americans do not see this. They're getting decadent. Zionists will use this to destroy them. Gaddafi warned of America's collapse in 1986. Today it plays out like a script.
As we came, we saw, he died.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Netanyahu's on his 4th visit in the last 6 months to the White House as we speak. The two genocidal war criminals are both nominating each other for the Nobel Peace Prize while they conduct the most heinous genocide ever. Which brings me to a bit of an atoda, so you could say, when I saw someone posted this. Matt Glantz posted, Trump was right about everything. Ukraine war over, day 1. Gaza solved. Gas and grocery inflation fixed. Epstein files released. Balanced budget. Fed debt down. $5,000 Doge checks for every American. China trade deficit gone. Mexico paid for the wall. Obamacare gone. Hillary jailed. I don't even need to do an atoda-so for all those things. But I told so.
A told-so. A fucking atoda-so.
You know, I'm going to start covering the markets a bit more now. I've been covering the COVIDs for 4 years. I've been covering the October 7th Israel operation for a couple years. I've now been covering the Charlie Kirk operation for about a month. But I think we're getting very close to the collapse of basically everything, the economy, the financial markets, everything. And that, if you didn't know, if you've watched me for like 5 years, like, oh, you actually do a financial newsletter? Yeah, we do. It's called the Dollar Vigilante. It's actually awesome. We recommended Bitcoin at $3 and Ethereum at $2, just FYI. We're also heavily into gold and gold stocks. I don't know if you've noticed, gold at all-time highs, about to hit 4,000. Gold stocks are one of the best performing things this year. That's our newsletter, dollarvigilante.com/subscribe. You might want to go. We haven't really updated that dollarvigilante.com/subscribe page for years. But I'm going to get around to that because, like I said, I think I'm going to start covering that because I think that's the next big thing that's going to happen. I think it's going to happen very soon, probably the next month or two. And especially when you look around at all the numbers and stuff. Like, for example, Wall Street Ape said, I just looked this up and it's true. Healthcare premiums for Americans making over $80,000 per year are set to triple beginning of the year. This would make the average cost about $20,000 per year. Just incredible. It's amazing. Like, each country kind of does its own thing. Like, you build one just in case. Yesterday, while walking before the post on Telegram, all the stuff they're old. And here's the programming of this market. But until then, it doesn't really affect me too much. I'm not even going to cover all the latest false flags. There was obviously one on an ICE facility, and this one was hilarious. Here's Kash Patel talking all about it. And here's the evidence of the guy. Of course, they all write on their bullets now. And, you know, if you're like an anti-ICE person, you're against ICE, what are you going to write on the ICE bullet, on the bullet? Anti-ICE, of course. Yeah, that's like a CIA guy, probably. Then there's the church one. I haven't looked into it, but a couple of American flags and Iraqi license plates. Okay, burnt down the whole church. Okay. Meanwhile, on X, you have other Mossad agents predictively programming us for the next operation, which is definitely going to happen. And that's why I want to cover the markets a lot more now, by the way. I think we're going to have this massive market collapse soon in the next few months. We're actually going to reopen the Vigilante Insiders Club, which is our exclusive club where you get real time. You actually are in it. And I've talked a lot about, and actually Satan Klaus has talked about this. He's warned for years. The next big thing after the COVID is going to be a cyber attack.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack.
And here's the mainstream media, which is CIA. They had a FBI guy on who's Mossad. A former FBI agent warns that Al-Qaeda, now led by Osama bin Laden's son, they're bringing Osama bin Laden back, is plotting imminent terrorist attacks in Miami and Houston.
We know, was it 2021? Hamza bin Laden, one of the sons of Osama bin Laden, became the military commander, and then about a year later became the emir of Al-Qaeda. And him and his brothers, Saad, Uthman, and Abdullah, are all in on the U.S. plot, which is Al-Qaeda is targeting soft targets, specifically hospitals, medical centers, and other things like that. The intelligence is they've got police uniforms, utility uniforms, fire and rescue uniforms, because the intent is to have first the primary attacks on whatever soft target, including hospitals, and then secondary attacks. But the key is if they attack the hospitals and then are simultaneously doing other soft targets, there won't be anywhere in those cities to take the wounded people. And since we know they have over 1,000 soldiers here, at least, And I'm just talking Al-Qaeda. I'm not talking about all the Hamas, Muslim Brotherhood, Hezbollah, Iranian IRGC forces, just the Al-Qaeda soldiers, just for this operation.
All right, when is this operation supposed to, what kind of a time frame are you?
Imminent.
Al-Qaeda is the CIA. Anyone with a brain knows that now. And you got the Mossad agent Laura Loomer saying there's going to be some sort of a blackout or something. And then they're on the mainstream CIA media with their FBI guys, which are all CIA, FBI, Mossad, same people, all in the same club, all the Sabbatean death cult, all warning us about this coming attack. I wouldn't doubt if it happens. And that's why I want to make sure we launch the Vigilante Insider Club, but reopen it again very soon to let people in. Because when this happens, it's going to be so insane, but there's going to be so many opportunities. There's also going to be so many ways to make sure you don't lose during all this. Most people are going to lose everything in the next year or two. Make sure you sign up to our newsletter, dollarvigilante.com/subscribe. I saw this image. I thought it was pretty good. The 3 branches of government in 2025: Israel, AI surveillance companies, and pedophiles. Yeah, I just add the intelligence agencies is a big one with the AI surveillance. And that's basically all it is. It all is. And they're all destroying everything. They're all going to try to make you completely broke, to try to kill you. And yes, that's basically what the US government is trying to do, and most governments. That is what they're trying to do. And I said earlier, there's a few things I'm looking forward to this fall. One is the massive financial market crash, which we're probably going to massively profit from. I read all about it in our newsletter. But also, hockey season starting. I'm still like hockey a little bit. But the other big thing I said is I couldn't wait to see Peter Thiel's Antichrist presentation. It's a 4-part lecture for like 8 hours a day for like $800. And I was like, this is going to be so incredible to see him try to explain that he's not the Antichrist, because the guy can barely talk. But man, they did such a good job. Overview of Peter Thiel's Antichrist lecture series. Peter Thiel, the billionaire tech investor and co-founder of PayPal and Palantir, delivered a 4-part lecture series titled The Antichrist in San Francisco, organized by the Nonprofit Acts. The series ran on September 15th, 22nd, 29th, and October 6th, so it's almost over. Each event included a lecture, followed by Q&A sessions and networking with drinks. Tickets were $800. But here's the part that sucks. Limited capacity at the Commonwealth Club, and attendees were explicitly warned that the talks were off the record, meaning no recording, note taking for public sharing, or media access was allowed. And I actually asked AI, is there any video of this? I've got to get it. No official video of the full lectures exists or is publicly available. Are you kidding me? There's not one guy who didn't have those like Google glasses who recorded it. Like, please, it's one of my biggest wishes is to see any of the things he said there. Because the guy literally can't talk, and he's going to talk for hours about how he's not the Antichrist.
Look, I'm not, without going into all the, I'm not on top of all the details of what's going on in Israel because my bias is to defer to Israel.
Anyway, I've talked long enough. Apple says I'm back from the spa, so we'll wait till she gets back. Also, I think my 2-year-old, who's almost a 3-year-old now, is almost done his siesta. So we'll finish. I'll wait till they get back, and we'll finish up with a few seconds from them, and we'll leave it there for now. Oh, there you are. Apples, you're getting back from the spa. You got everyone, all the packs here. Oh, you're looking better. Oh, Rangos, you look guapo. Oh yeah, thanks. You did a nice day at the spa. I put on a lot of weight while you're going. Feeling a lot better now. Let's go check out what's going on. What did I miss? I missed the video. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I'll get you on the next one. I feel a lot better. Feel nice and pretty now. It's good to be back. I missed everybody. Yeah, how's everyone doing? Sorry about that. I was gone all day at the spa. Feels pretty good.
Question: why and how did this explicitly vulgar and raunchy celebrity roast way back in 2011 predict the future outcome of not only the 2016, 2020, but 2024 American presidential election?
Let's examine some mainstream media coverage of the events of that so-called Wednesday night and identify the hidden signs and symbols, showcasing advanced foreknowledge of these critical future events.
Predictive programming.
It's his grand entrance to the night he was roasted back in 2011. Listen to what comedian Gilbert Gottfried said to Trump's face years ago.
Donald Trump has done so much damage to the New York skyline. Instead of calling him the Donald, they should call him the 20th hijacker.
Please welcome the second worst tragedy ever to hit New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald J. Trump.
Gottfried told me that even the crudest insults bounced off of Trump. Daughter Ivanka couldn't believe it, and wife Melania managed a thin smile as Trump faced one shocking insult after another.
It's all just entertainment, huh?
Here we see Donald Trump sitting in front of a giant sign of his own name, Trump. Within the letters, they placed a particular bill of U.S. currency, a $1,000 bill to be exact. which features an image of the 22nd and 24th U.S. President, Grover Cleveland.
This is significant because Grover Cleveland and Donald Trump are the only two presidents in U.S. history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms, meaning they both won the election, then ran for re-election and lost, only to come back a third time and regain the White House. But the Hollywood spellcasters created the set design for this stage back in 2011. Trump didn't become president until 2016. The world is a stage.
In the blink of an eye.
Operation Warp Speed.
In the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye.
Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid?
Hidden in plain sight are a plethora of occult signs and symbols, scattered like Easter eggs throughout this entire set. It is not hard to spot this first 88. But this symbolic number permeates every aspect of not only the stage, but Trump's ultimate purpose and destiny. T is the 20th letter in the alphabet. R is the 18th letter in the alphabet. U is the 21st. M is the 13th. And P is the 16th, which all add up to 88. Grover Cleveland first served from 1885 to 1889. This Comedy Central roast happened on a so-called Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. So what's Wednesday in Spanish? Miércoles, right? Which would be Mercury.
Right.
So Mercury is.
Oh, where did he go? Mercury
is the god of what? What's he good at?
He's a postman.
He's moving fast.
That's right.
He's moving fast. And Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. And when you're that close, you move fast so you don't fall in.
Exactly.
So Mercury's the fastest moving planet. And the Romans knew this. The Greeks knew this.
Right.
So Miércoles, Mercury. But for us, it's Wednesday. So Wednesday,
right?
Woden's Day.
Nice. Woden's Day.
Yeah. And so he's the closest Norse god as a counterpart to Mercury.
Okay.
So Mercury's a messenger god. Woden had some other features about him, but it included serving as a traveler back and forth to hell, whatever they called hell.
Wednesday means Woden's Day. Odin is the Norse equivalent to the Roman god Mercury. The planet Mercury has an 88-day orbit around the sun.
In the blink of an eye. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how quickly the time flies? How quickly the time flies. In the blink of an eye.
But there is another number, a number that is equally tied to Donald Trump, a number that represents crisis, emergency, chaos, and destruction. The number is 911, 911, or 9/11.
And of course, the number that represents emergency and crisis is literally embedded in Donald's name.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny?
Please welcome the second worst tragedy ever to hit New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald J. Trump.
Funny how quickly the time flies. All the days just fade away.
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
Welcome to room 9.
Looking good, number 9. Looking good.
Where's your dignity?
Fade away.
BuzzFeed dug up an old quote from Donald Trump talking about a large-scale terror attack 19 months before 9/11. In his 2000 book, The America We Deserve, Trump wrote, "I really am convinced we're in danger of the sort of terror attacks that will make the bombing of the 1993 Trade Center look like little kids playing with firecrackers." Trump also mentioned the mastermind of the attack, writing, quote, "One day, we're told that a shadowy figure with no fixed address named Osama bin Laden is public enemy number 1, and U.S. jet fighters lay waste to his camp in Afghanistan. He escapes back under some rock, and a few news cycles later, it's on to a new enemy and a new crisis."
Wait.
Mhm.
Okay, hold on a second. Is this really Trump before 9/11? Have you read this?
2000.
That was in a book he wrote in the year 2000.
Well, it was published in 2000. He could have written in 1999. For
Exactly. He might have been a bit more prescient.
So he basically predicted the attacks from Osama bin Laden.
Trump Unauthorized is a 2005 biographical drama recounting Trump's early ventures in real estate. In this scene, we see a young Donald Trump playing with blocks while his brother plays with a toy airplane. This takes place in Donald Trump's father's office, an office that has a high-rise view of the New York City skyline. During the last moments of the scene, we get a view of what Trump was building. 2 towers that spell out his name, and with the reflection of the New York City skyline, the Twin Tower reference is complete.
But why does the occult veneration of 88 and 9/11 always coincide with twinning mirror image symbology?
Trump made his entrance escorted by twin pageant models.
The twin symbolism here, of course. This is the most significant symbolism of Freemasonry, the twin pillars.
Here we see twin Masonic pillars that flank the main stage.
Predictive programming.
Reminiscent of the twin beams of light at the 9/11 memorial.
Two powerful beams of light cut through the darkness over Manhattan. 88 large spotlights arranged in the shape of the Twin Towers illuminated from the roof just blocks from ground zero. It's a rehearsal for the heartfelt display that will shine bright next Wednesday.
These twin beams of light shine up into the night sky. They remind us of those we lost.
Reminiscent of the twin beams of light at the 9/11 memorial, which are made up of 88 individual floodlights. We recently covered Trump erecting twin 88-foot flagpoles at the White House.
Trump unveiling a giant 88-foot flagpole, two of them, I think, at the White House.
Which was also done on a so-called Wednesday.
The White House ordered flags to be lowered to half-staff in memory of Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk, a right-wing political activist, died Wednesday after being shot in the neck at Utah Valley University.
Charlie Kirk, a right-wing political activist, died Wednesday after being shot in the neck at Utah Valley University.
And the funeral and memorial for Charlie Kirk is now set. President Trump said that he will be there. He has also ordered flags lowered to half-staff starting late Wednesday. George.
But this twinning ritual goes much deeper. You see, in Norse mythology, the chief god Odin is often depicted accompanied by twin wolves and twin ravens. We recently saw twin wolves make the headlines with the so-called resurrection of these direwolves, which they named Romulus and Remus after the twins who founded Rome.
Now, 7 months old, direwolves Romulus and Remus eating well and getting bigger every day.
And as if that wasn't diabolical enough, Romulus and Remus are just the exoteric name for these wolves. Because they're in the season of their Wednesday invocation, the actual esoteric name for these hellhounds lets you know just who they're summoning.
These are dire wolves, well known from HBO's hit show, Game of Thrones.
There are no dire wolves south of the wall. Another 5.
Will Mulhall bought the dogs with all of his savings as a lifeguard when he was 18. Just weeks later, the dogs changed his life.
I got a phone call from the breeder to say some TV show wants to use my dogs in it. And I was like, cool, what's the show about? And the breeder was like, I don't know, like swords and shields and stuff.
They're dire wolves. That's Thor as Greywind and Odin as Summer. Furry characters with a huge following in the mega hit Game of Thrones. People come from around the world to this small village south of Belfast for a pet and a picture. Thor and Odin are no ordinary dogs.
The actual esoteric name for these hellhounds lets you know just who they're summoning.
But what about Odin's twin ravens? How are they being invoked?
Thank you so much for bringing it back here safely and in good condition.
Yes, and of course I also want to say thank you so much for lending me Odin. It was a fitting symbol as well. Precisely that idea that Odin sent Hugin and Munin out into the world to gather information, which they could then return and share with Odin. It's very symbolic of the work we do as well, venturing out to gain more knowledge.
And it is significant in meaning, but light in weight. It's only 9 grams of silver that we see here in the picture, and we all, almost in unison, synchronously, I still remember it, we shouted, "It's Odin!" So that's almost 600 years before, well, the written sources really appear, really come into play. So it was probably during what we call the later part of the Iron Age.
We were a team of 7 international astronauts. 4 of us were sent up with the American Dragon spacecraft.
Do you become more or less religious after such a trip?
There are examples of astronauts who feel that they've become more religious from being in space.
It is said that Odin Allfather worries about the return of his ravens Munin and Hugin. While the first raven Munin, in the shape of Swedish astronaut Marcus Vant's 21-day mission to the ISS, has already returned to Earth, the second raven Hugin is ready to come back as well, and whisper in humankind's ear of the marvels it has seen on its journey with ESA astronaut Andreas Mogensen. The Danish astronaut Andreas was the first non-US astronaut to pilot SpaceX Crew Dragon when he and Crew 7 launched on the 26th of August 2023 from Kennedy Space Center to the International Space Station for his first long-duration mission. After 1 month on board of the station, he was handed command of the ISS. He is the 6th European and the first Dane to take up this mantle, and he is now the longest-serving European commander. As commander, Andreas also got to greet the arrival of the Axiom 3 mission and crew, including ESA's first project astronaut and fellow Scandinavian, Marcus Vant. With the arrival of Marcus, whose mission was called Munin, Odin's 2 ravens were reunited in space with the first ever meeting of 2 Scandinavians in orbit.
While depictions of Odin's twin wolves and twin ravens often appear as identical twins, they also symbolize duality, representing the light and its shadow twin, darkness.
Isn't it funny how quickly the time flies? In the blink of an eye.
A perfect example of how this 88 Shadow Twin spellcasting is being broadcast is this new Wendy's ad campaign.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. Normally, I'd be against this type of capitalistic corporate synergy. But when the other pigtail provocateur said I could concoct my own Frosty, I melted. My meal is tribute to the suffering that awaits us all. It's pure torture for your taste buds. With 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Here.
Yes, 2 mischievous girls with pigtails are cooking up a meal of misfortune. It's the collab between Wendy's and the Netflix show Wednesday.
There's a Wednesday Wendy's collab pop-up drive-thru today in Norwalk. They will have a special Wednesday meal to promote the new season on Netflix. They said the line was packed in an 8-hour wait, so I drove down a mile and parked so I could walk.
Today we're trying the Wendy's Wednesday meal. It comes out August 6th. We got an early try with 4 mystery dipping sauce and new Frosty. Let's get to it.
Each meal of misfortune comes with breast and 10-piece nuggets, Curse and crispy fries, the all-new Raven's Blood Frosty, and 2 of 4 mystery dips of dread.
Not only is the Frosty new, but we've got the Spoon of Gloom as well, so let's see how this tastes.
The all-new Raven's Blood Frosty.
The all-new Raven's Blood Frosty.
But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, and not to Elohim. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Ye cannot drink the cup of Yahuwah and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of Yahuwah's table and of the table of devils.
Charlie Kirk, a right-wing political activist, died Wednesday after being shot in the neck at Utah Valley University.
What you are witnessing is pagan ritual magic that goes back decades. The soothsayers have been pre-programming the inhabitants of this land in order to create the perfect charged spiritual conditions, the perfect storm, to manifest their long-awaited externalization of the hierarchy, their spiritual turning point. For example, the hidden hand behind Wendy's is fully aware that this Wednesday promotional mirrors the horrific Wendy's massacre, which took place 25 years ago on a dreadful Wednesday night. This is intentional. And before that, the masses were being preconditioned to accept the official Charlie Kirk narrative through the cinematic sorcery of the movie Snake Eyes. All of this has conjured a spiritual storm, speaking of which, the online feminist magazine Jezebel publicly casting a spell to hex Charlie Kirk is just more fuel on an already raging fire. While we are on the subject of Jezebel, the mysterious origins of Erica Kirk are casting an icy cold shadow across the internet. Erica Franz Vey Kirk's grandfather, Carl Kenneth Franz Vey, was Grand Chief of the Independent Order of Vikings, knighted by the King of Sweden. This is all a spell to invoke the chief god of the Vikings, Odin. But here's where things start to get even more bizarre.
Wendy's is going all out with its promotions, posters, a special meal, and decorations. But this particular item is getting a different kind of attention. Customers saw it through these doors of this very Wendy's.
Sorry, family, but we have to stop the presentation here. It's hard because we have the most important segments and the finale still ahead. But this is the point where our presentation begins to take a deep dive and starts to connect some forbidden dots. This is also the session I believe that triggered YouTube to restrict this video. Though we made a considerable effort to comply with all YouTube's guidelines when we tried to post it the first time, it was still deemed not suitable. So this is just an edited or censored version of the first segment.
Shalom family, thank you for watching this edited YouTube version of the first segment from our latest video, The Real Trump Prophecy 2. This is just the first segment of a full-length uncensored presentation that's now available on our Patreon and websites.
Truth. Truth.
If you would like to support our work, please join our Patreon or websites. If you would like to send us a donation through Cash App or PayPal, the links are in the description box below. Or if you would like to send a donation,
Agent Dunham, I need immediate evac. 923 Church Street. There's a device on the 47th floor. Nicely done.
Good performance.
By 9:23, the water of life shall proceed forth from the throne of the Lamb, and the day of the Lord.
You guys know what this represents? Well, I don't know, it's the comic book storm. What's your point? Could be a comic book storm.
And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you, nevertheless, and that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
Central casting, brilliant guy. You know, when I say he's brilliant, everyone says, oh, that's terrible. We call it. Well, he runs 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. Smart, brilliant, everything perfect. There's nobody in Hollywood like this guy.
Gentle, Donald. Slowly. Okay. That's good.
How much you want for your pot? 500. 600.
Introducing Cozone.com, the place to find computer help and buy what's right for you.
Hey.
Hey, yourself.
And what plan is that?
We'd have sex with you, of course.
Okay, wait. You and I, well, there is no you and I. There's a professional situation, and I just need you.
You need me.
The department needs you, because you're the one.
It is my great honor to address the National Catholic Prayer Breakfast. I want to thank my good friend, Leonard Leo, and the board members of this wonderful breakfast, as well as, of course, the Knights of Columbus. And congratulations to Attorney General Bill Barr, special man, on receiving the annual award. I also want to express my deep gratitude to every person who prays for me and for the First Lady and for our country. We love our country. There's no country like it. I grew up next to a Catholic church in Queens, New York, and I saw how much incredible work the Catholic Church did for our community. These are amazing people. These are great, great people.
But it all started with Caesar Augustus, born on September 23rd, 63 BC, who would adopt the title Divi Filius, which means Son of God.
The U.S. presidential motorcade arrives at the United Nations, passing the ever-present groups of demonstrators assembled on the other side of the road. A sense of anticipation in the General Assembly chamber, and a warm reception for Barack Obama as he walks to the podium, his wife seated among the heads of state and dignitaries.
The time has come for the world to move in a new direction. We must embrace a new era of engagement based on mutual interest and mutual respect, and our work must begin now.
And the president outlined his vision of a new world order in which the U.S. would participate fully, one rooted on 4 basic principles.
Non-proliferation and disarmament, the promotion of peace and security, the preservation of our planet, and a global economy that advances opportunity for all people.
Jeffrey, what happened? It's freezing in here. Capital One happened, sir. Their no hassle rewards card takes all the surprises out of reward mile redemption. How am I going to make s'mores? Says here, there are no hidden fees and your reward miles never expire.
Well, there goes poker night.
It's really happened. The Capital One no hassle rewards card. A rewards credit card with no surprises. Visit CapitalOne.ca to find out more.
What's in your wallet?
On the list for the player thing.
Good part of the total, flustered.
I'm not flustered. I'm nauseous.
No, you're blushing. I'd say making headway.
Okay, look, let me make myself perfectly clear. I will never, ever sleep with you. Never. Okay? Got it?
Hang on together, I like this.
When hell freezes over this way.
New world order.
A new world order.
A new world order. New world order. New world order.
A new world order. A new world order.
Among the speakers that followed the U.S. president, the leader of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi, speaking at the UN for the first time after 40 years in power. And waving the UN Charter, he called for an end to any permanent membership of the Security Council, arguing that small nations should have the same rights as the big. It was a speech that lasted well over an hour and covered subjects ranging from jet lag to political assassinations.
And then the assassination or the killing of Kennedy in 63 or 62.
We have the world's great military people. I will tell you that. And we're not ready. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Everyone's gone. Oh, how embarrassing. Oh, we slept right through church.
Not the end of the world.
Oh, no, it's the apocalypse. What? Be wearing clean underwear? Not anymore. It's the rapture, and I never knew true love.
I never used those pizza coupons.
Why aren't we ascending into heaven? Oh, right, the sins. What? Oh.
Where do you think you're going, Missy?
Dad!
Have you ever asked God for forgiveness? That's a tough question. I don't think in terms of, I'm a religious person, but have you ever asked God for forgiveness? I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from there. I don't think so.
Ooh, I smell barbecue. Hey, look. Ah! Oh, they're on a hot dog. And the coleslaw has pineapple in it. Ah!
Step aside, ladies. I'm bringing the peace.
They'll never forget Paris. First Lady Dr. Jill chatting it up with President-elect Trump. It sure looks like they're enjoying each other's company, leaning in, smiling, sharing a moment in the city of love. And it has everyone buzzing. One jokester even added the classic love song from Cinderella.
So this is love.
Now, and this is no joke, Trump is using the image to sell a new brand of perfume and cologne called Fight, Fight, Fight. He posted an ad on social media, a fragrance your enemies can't resist. The View's Anna Navarro is calling the pitch kind of crass.
The grift with these people. This is what you got, America. This is what you got.
My child, what's the matter? What on earth's the matter?
I have to get him back to my apartment, back to the window. But they just keep coming. They just keep coming.
Who keeps coming?
The demons. The demons.
Demons. Demons aren't real. They're parables, metaphors.
Then what does that?
Trump and Dr. Jill were among the VIPs invited to the grand reopening of Notre Dame Cathedral, the president-elect's first international engagement since his election victory. And some say he used the opportunity to assert his dominance over France's President Macron with aggressive handshakes. This high overhand grip is being called the Trump power grab. And check out this move. He grabs Macron by the neck.
I think he was saying, who's the boss here? I'm the boss here.
But Trump says, don't read too much into it. It's just a firm shake, he tells the New York Post. He understands that. It's just a firm shake. The First Lady flew back to D.C. in time to accompany President Biden to the Kennedy Center Honors, where they and Vice President Harris were greeted with a standing ovation.
I am so staying up past my bedtime.
Ah, 007. Q. Please excuse the mess. Everything's a little bit up in the air, what with the changes and all. A couple of things to get through. Shall we get started? Just relax. That's it, lovely. Now, you may feel a small prick.
The President of the United States of America. Why? We want to know who killed him. Somebody who by the name of Lee Harvey, and then another Jack Ruby killed Lee Harvey. Why did he kill him?
Earlier, the UN Secretary General had opened proceedings, sticking to his allotted time, calling for international unity.
If ever there were a time to act in a spirit of renewed multilateralism, a moment to create a United Nations of genuine collective action, it is now.
New world order. New world order. A new world order.
A new world order.
New world order.
New world order.
New world order.
A new world order. Need for new world order.
A new world order. Now is our time. A time to put the United back into the United Nations.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
What is it? Cutting-edge nanotechnology. Smart blood. Microchips in your bloodstream allows us to track your movements in the field. You see those readouts? We can monitor your vital signs from anywhere. Well, that sounds marvelous. Call it a post-Mexico insurance policy, by direct order of them. I completely understand.
Number 8, we will finally complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system.
So there we see that it means that you can subdue a people. You can control a people by secret influence. That goes on to say under charm, to subdue by secret power, especially by that which pleases and delights the mind. So under charm there it says power to subdue opposition and gain the affections. But remember in the story of Wizard of Oz, how the Wicked Witch was having difficulty subduing her opponent. And finally she said, I know what I shall do. I take this crystal ball. She spreads her hands across the crystal ball and she creates a lovely poppy field. Oh, so beautiful. And Dorothy, the lion, the scarecrow, the Tin Man, going across this lovely poppy field, fall to what?
United in purpose, united in action.
And a reminder that this UN building is due to be closed for renovation at the end of these proceedings.
Our common ambition is to make this outward renovation the symbol of inward renewal.
A renewal, importantly, in which the United States says it is willing to both lead and be part of.
And tighter immigration controls for some Muslims.
Then Israel. Total defrost of that White House relationship. Already Israel announcing plans to expand settlements. America's regional allies scrambling to respond. President Trump making good on some of candidate Trump's promises.
I think areas in the South China Sea that are part of international waters and international activities, I think the U.S. is going to make sure that we protect our interests there. So.
His spokesman tough on China, drawing swift Chinese condemnation.
The United States is not a party to the South China Sea issue. We urge the United States to honor its commitments.
Amidst all this controversy, the first world leader to visit President Trump.
Time and again, it is the relationship between us that has defined the modern world.
British Prime Minister Theresa May trading on historic US-UK bonds to boost business between the two nations, but pushed off message by Trump's latest comments. Torture may be okay, defending herself before she left the UK.
That we have a very clear position on torture. We do not sanction torture. We do not get involved with that, and that will continue to be our position.
The British leader also facing European pushback on her visit. Concerns Trump is using Britain to divide Europe. Reality is Trump's presidency is in its infancy. The question British and others around the world are trying to figure out is, will America's new president go it alone? Or will he evolve into something global diplomats can more readily fall in line with? Nick Robertson, CNN, Washington.
Question.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the Holy See, followed by the national anthem of the United States.
Simply put, this country and this world benefit from your commitment to Jesuit principles, to being men. As a graduate of another great Jesuit institution, Xavier University, I have great affection for the value and purpose of the Jesuit education.
President Trump, who attended Fordham, a Jesuit university, came face-to-face today with the first Jesuit pope. The rest is history.
Catholic schools give many underserved children the chance to reach their God-given potential. Catholics of all backgrounds share the love of Christ with the most vulnerable as they care for the elderly, the homeless, and neighbors in need. Our nation is strong because of Catholics and all people of faith. We believe in the joy of family, the blessing of freedom, and the dignity of work, and the eternal truth that every child, born and unborn, is made in the holy image of God. I will always protect the vital role of religion and prayer in American society, and I will always defend the sacred right to life. Today, I am announcing that I will be signing the Born Alive executive order to ensure that all precious babies born alive, no matter their circumstances, receive the medical care that they deserve. This is our sacrosanct moral duty. We are also increasing federal funding for the neonatal research to ensure that every child has the very best chance to thrive and to grow. Melania and I recently visited the shrine of St. John Paul II, a man who had such a profound impact on our country and the world. It was an incredible visit. On his first visit to the United States, he concluded his visit to a Catholic parish in Harlem with these words: "Let the good news of Christ radiate from your hearts, and the peace that he alone gives remain forever in your souls." We are very grateful for the millions of Catholics across America who live by these beautiful words and bring hope and joy and light and grace to the world. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. And please take good care of Bill Barr. He's very important to all of us.
Let's go.
In 9 hours and 23 minutes, you'll be mine.
Is it possible that that's not just story? Is it possible that the crystal ball sits in the living room of every home practically in America?
The grid. A digital frontier. I tried to picture clusters of information as they move through the computer. What did they look like? Ships, motorcycles, little circuits like freeways. I kept dreaming of the world I thought I'd never see. And then one day...
You got in.
That's right, man. I got in. The grid. Chase an infinite possibility. It's incredible. More beautiful than I ever dreamed. And more dangerous than I ever imagined. What happened? My creation is coming against me.
Robotic human surrogates combine the durability of the machine with the grace and beauty of the human body. With most people living their lives through their surrogate selves, our world has become a safer place. Take a seat in your STEM chair, and just with the power of your mind, you can control your surrogate and send it out into the real world.
You're lucky to be alive. Good thing you're unplugged.
How long is it since you've been out without a surrogate?
Can you remember?
It's different when you actually feel the pain.
What do you want from me?
My wife.
I am your wife.
We changed the world and now you want to destroy it?
Surrogacy is a perversion.
It's an addiction.
How do I stop this? You can't.
Think something's going to happen?
What happens now? No, it's up to you.
Look at yourselves. Unplug from your chair.
These are the minds of the future, remember?
One thing's for sure, we will not control it.
I have been researching the 923 code because it is significant with the birthing of Jupiter 923-2017. He's the king of the gods and represents the Antichrist in a way. But 923 also represents 14. And we know that Osiris was cut up into 14 pieces from his brother Set, who is also the brother of Horus. So this code is really a code that has been broken down with many things. And most of all, it's been broken down with unity, because what they want to do is put the pieces of Osiris back together again, just like in our last show. Isis is representing the moon. Osiris represents the sun. And she wants to put all the pieces of Osiris back together again.
Flammas eius, Lucifer matutinus inveniat. Ille inquam Lucifer, qui nescito casum, Christus filius tuus, qui regressus ab inferis, humano generis serenus illuxit, et tecum vivit et regnat in saecula saeculorum.
And important for all peoples. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I like him a lot.
Agent Dunham, I need immediate evac. 923 Church Street. There's a device on the 47th floor. Nicely done.
Good performance.
By 9:23, the water of life shall proceed forth from the throne of the Lamb, and the day of the Lord.
We are now 3 months into the year of our Lord, 2023. At this moment in our civilization, we can create cybernetic individuals who, in just a few short years, will be completely indistinguishable from us. Which leads to an obvious conclusion. We are the gods now.
How do you feel?
Alive.
What is your name?
David.
I am your father.
Am I your son?
You are my creation.
Now is the
back, and it shall be given to you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you, and you will come on in and come to the wild. Everybody, oh, seek Jesus in the morning. Seek Jesus in the noonday hour. Seek Jesus in the evening before the sun is going down.